The House by Christopher Lee, starring Julian Glover as Charles Bannister and Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter, with Isla Blair as Mary Bannister, Christopher Benjamin as Henry Colvil, and Siobhan Redmond as Juliet Cameron.
I must remind the House that many right honourable and honourable members have indicated their wish to speak on Interruptions of this kind really serve no useful purpose. Mr. Secretary,
it's this very habit of time-wasting, Mr. Speaker, that is the hallmark of members opposite. And the country recognises this. Mr. Speaker, this bill provides for an immigration policy based on decency, compassion, and a sensible approach to what could, if it were not for this bill, be an unnecessarily volatile matter. I will give way to the honourable member, but then I must be allowed to press on.
Mr. Speaker, will the Home Secretary explain that if this bill is based on, to use his own words, decency, compassion and a sensible approach, then why, Mr. Speaker, are so many of his own side going to abstain and even vote against it?
Charles, I must ask you, what the hell's going on? I'm told that 30 of them are abstaining.
Oh, we've got 6 hours to go. We'll see.
If you don't mind my saying so, Charles, that's a very relaxed attitude for a chief whip with a major rebellion on his hands. This amounts to a vote of confidence, not a 5-day test match.
I don't think it's nearly as grim as you make out, Dougal.
But let me tell you, the Prime Minister, the Bombardier himself, went into the tea room to talk a few of them round. Now, we both know what he thinks of the tea room.
A sort of parliamentary booby trap.
Wouldn't be seen dead in there unless it's an emergency. When the Bombardier regards a vote as an emergency, I would call the situation grim. And so should you, Charles.
I'm not pretending everything's hunky-dory.
That's very decent of you.
There's no need for sarcasm, old man.
But there's a need for something. That little baggage Cameron was right. Some of them intend voting in the wrong lobby at 10 o'clock tonight. It's your job to make sure that doesn't happen.
Dougal, we've known each other for a long time, but I hardly think I need you to tell me my job.
It's my responsibility as your friend, as well as a colleague in Cabinet, to tell you home truths. Besides, it's my bill that could go to the wall. How will I look if that happens?
Oh, I imagine you'll think of something. In fact, I'm certain you will.
Now who's being sarcastic? Let me tell you something else.
No, let me tell you. For the past 6 months, I've warned everyone, including the Prime Minister, that we were heading for trouble. Tea room tattle, as Ten calls it, says too many of us are out of touch, including the PM.
No successful Prime Minister has ever been stupid enough to keep in touch with the country.
Oh, come on.
The skill of leadership, Charles, is to get the country to follow you. Not the other way round.
It's not working, old man. We both know that.
Of course, when the time is right, there are some of us who will be prepared to offer ourselves.
As an alternative leader?
For the good of the party, you understand. One must accept opportunity as well as responsibility.
Oh, my godfather James. Here we go. Dougal the ever-ready, the respectable face of opportunism.
Politics are about seizing opportunities and converting chances for everyone's good.
Especially yours, eh?
Certainly. I'm a realist, Charles.
A realist or opportunist?
Suit yourself.
Perhaps the realist can explain to me why we're shooting ourselves in the foot by bringing forward a bill that has little support in the country, in the House, and realistically even in the party.
It's truth. I haven't seen it like this since just before old Mr. Barker died. Just these 3 to sign. I'll get them away tonight. 2 of them came in on crutches, remember?
There. I'd swap that night for this one if I had the chance.
Now, in the old days, a 3-liner was a 3-liner, wasn't it? Do what they flipping like, some of them. Hawkins reckons it's all those estate agents that got in last time.
And what about you, Rose? Do you subscribe to the Arthur Hawkins School of Political Analysis?
Don't knock him. He's the best Chief Whip's messenger.
Assistant, please.
Fancy title. He's the best in donkey's years. Knows what's going on. He knows who's getting telephone calls, messages, who's saying what, who's having quiet little chats in the Ways and Means corridor, the lot.
That wasn't my question.
He's right. Too many of the new ones are in it for a career, good contacts, directorships and all that.
But why, Rose? If we go down, a lot of them will lose their seats. Come on, past. Just a lot.
I think so. Oh, Mrs. Bannister phoned. Said not to forget it's Polly's birthday tomorrow.
Why the blazes should I forget? I'm sorry. Did you wrap it?
It's in your briefcase. And the card. Don't forget to sign it.
I always do it. Poxy machine.
morning.
And you always say so. Nothing wrong with it. Perfectly good toaster. Anyway, it was a wedding present. And I always say that. Sorry, darling.
At least your sense of humour survived last night. Ghastly on news night. But you said no.
We lost a 3-line whip. Governments don't do that. Explaining things away on the box at least gives me a chance to appear reasonable and plausible. Which is more than I'll get in Cabinet this morning.
You look tired out.
According to the paper, played out would be a more accurate expression. Listen to this. The failure of the Chief Whip, Charles Bannister, to bring the rebellious backbenchers to heel added fuel to rumours that he is about to be replaced by a more hard-line member of the government. Well, if there wasn't a rumour, there is now, eh?
Is it true?
Honestly, don't know. That says something about the situation, I suppose. Blast, blast, blast. It was so unnecessary. I'd warned them we couldn't get it through. I told them the timing was all wrong.
They can hardly blame you. After all, you were right.
Oh, come off it, Mary. You know as well as I do there are no prizes for being the only one right, unless you happen to be...
The bombardier.
Exactly. Listen to this. There was speculation last night that the parliamentary private secretary of a senior cabinet minister has resigned in order to join the growing number of rebel backbenchers. Now, that's utter rubbish. They just make it up.
Is it really worth it, Charles? All this hassle. Scratching and squabbling, being treated like some prefect rather at a minor public school. Late nights that get later and later. Look at you. You're washed out. And what for?
Let's go.
There you are. Exactly what I'm talking about. It's getting to the point where I have to make an appointment to see you.
Well, thanks for your support.
I didn't mean it like that.
Perhaps you should have married someone with a 9-to-5 job.
I did. 9 in the morning until 5 the next morning.
Spare me the sarcasm, Mary. I'm getting more than my share at the moment. Anyway, what brought this on? I was in the house when we married, so was your father. There's nothing new, surely.
It was fun in those days. Now I don't know if it's all worth it.
Look, I really must go. I got my own post-mortem before Cabinet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to be understanding. I know. How about lunch today?
No can do. I'm meeting your brother at the Reform.
Well, perhaps I can pass messages through dear Henry. Give him my love.
Look, I usually stroll back across St. James's. Why don't you take Worcester for a walk and we could walk through the park together? 2:30?
Gosh, 10 whole minutes hanging on the end of Worcester's lead and your every word. No, Charles. You have your clubby lunch with Henry and I'll see you tonight.
Look, I must go.
You haven't forgotten that we're giving Polly supper, assuming she ever gets up today.
No, I haven't forgotten, and frankly it was hardly necessary to tell Rose to remind me of my own daughter's birthday.
You're looking a bit tired, Mr. Bannister, if you don't mind me saying so. You all right?
Very kind of you, Mr. Hawkins. No, fine. These are, as the Chinese would observe, interesting times.
Out there on the mob I was. Well, not exactly China, Hong Kong still. All the same nowadays, isn't it?
Soon will be, I'm afraid. When was that?
Last tour, 83. Just been made up, colour sergeant. That's when I first came across Mr. Mossman.
Oh, Mr. Mossman. I didn't know he was in the army.
Too right. Short service commission, one pip wonder. Right, tear away. They reckon he knew every bar in one chai. Done all right for himself, ain't he? She'll get on okay with Mr. Baxter, though. Same school, so I hear, sir.
Why Mr. Baxter?
Well, it's...
Hi there. Practising the common touch, are you?
Hello.
Watch it, Arthur. Mr. Bannister will sign you up as a whip if you're not careful.
Not a bad idea, Miss Cameron. Some of them could do with a couple of years in uniform. That'd straighten them out.
I'm afraid parliamentary privilege and the Queen's shilling don't mix.
Half of them wouldn't know what privilege is. Ah, sounds like my what's name. Excuse me.
What brings you in this time of the morning? Your lot don't normally turn up till lunch.
We call it dinner. I came to gloat.
Oh.
Government on the run is a pretty sight. I told you weeks ago you'd never get away with it.
I don't know. Circumstances might have been different.
Come on, Chang. It's me you're talking to, not the local rag.
You shouldn't call me Chang. Not here, anyway.
Sorry. Then you shouldn't behave like a mandarin. By the way, what's this about him taking on that creep Mossman as his PPS?
Who?
Charles, there you are. Just the man.
Must go. See you.
What was that little baggage up to? You want to watch her? No, Charles, I think you and I had better have a quiet word.
Henry, what a lovely surprise.
Pleasure.
Flowers.
Ah, my dear, I'm afraid they're for Polly.
Oh.
I buy her soft blooms, for she so gently kisses my blushed cheek.
Is that from something I should know?
No, I rather thought it original, but you may be right. So often you are.
Wait a minute. Sorry.
Am I to wait with one knee trembling to bend, or should I tap at her door?
I should plonk them over there. I'm afraid your Lancelot act is wasted. She surfaced about 10:30, spent the next hour in the bathroom, 15 minutes brain heating with a hairdryer, and dived out of the house 10 minutes ago.
I'm desolate.
You're not. All the same, I'll tell her you were. Coffee?
Why not? It is the hour.
Sorry. No biscuits. You need to lose some weight. You're becoming just like Daddy. Quite portly.
He was 80 and distinguished, a reasonable ambition.
He waddled.
It can be impressive. You look tired.
Thanks very much. It's a family condition. Polly gets over it by sleeping throughout daylight hours. Charles feels it's all part of public duty.
Oh, dear. The glum is extraordinary this day, is it not?
Sorry. Feeling a little bruised, that's all. I think that a good lunch at Overton's wouldn't have fixed.
Then why don't you, my dear? It's a fine morning.
Steak au poivre my own and a doggy bag for Worcester isn't at all what I meant.
Well, what about Polly? Aren't you two lunching? After all, it is her birthday.
You're joking. Having been told by my own husband...
Better than someone else's?
Hush, will you? Having been told by my own husband that he prefers lunching with my brother...
We are just good friends, he told the Daily Express.
Polly then says, no, thank you. She is lunching. She is lunching. Where? At the house. That's where.
Anyone we know?
Not really. Rather smooth. Bit oily for my taste.
Ah, so not one of the young Turks.
Oh, he's that all right. According to Polly, anyway. Man called Gerald Mossman.
I simply wanted to warn you that some are going to question very closely the way in which our own people are kept in order.
Isn't that a rather 1984-ish view of parliamentary democracy?
Yes, of course. This is not a trade union. It is supposed to be a disciplined party.
Dougal, I am not for one moment trying to duck my responsibilities, but really, we had all this last night.
I know. But things have become serious. I have to tell you, as a friend, of course, that the Prime Minister is livid. And, well, some of us are not sure that we're able, in the circumstances, mind you, to support you.
In what?
Charles, you're making this very difficult. The bombardier will be thinking of someone's head. I don't believe you've grasped the seriousness of what happened last night. We could go down, that's what.
And if there's a head to roll, then it may as well be mine. And you, Dougal, will be holding the basket. Is that it?
Certainly not. But, of course, there are greater considerations than the position of a single member of the government.
We don't do things this way, especially now. Have you seen Number 10's handout?
No, not exactly. But
listen to this. We have to make sure we are applying ourselves with the right determination to explain policies which are essentially the right policies.
Let me have a look at that. What does it mean?
That if we present a bill, we have to make sure there's going to be enough support among our own people, and that it's not enough to play bully boys as they go into the lobbies.
Or don't.
As the case may be.
I can't believe that's what it means at all.
This may be a press release, but it's aimed just as much at our own people as it is at the voter. Read it carefully, Dougal. I'm right. It's telling our people they've been heard.
Well, it'll not be enough.
In these circumstances, it had better be. It's not my head they're looking for, and don't forget, it was your bill.
I believe there are those who would support me.
Come off it, Dougal. Even your own PPS ducked out. Losing backbenchers is regrettable. Losing your own PPS is downright carelessness.
He's an ungrateful little tinker. I had half a mind to drop him anyway.
Excuse me, Mr. Bannister, it's getting on. Car's downstairs.
2 minutes, okay? I heard you had.
Who said that?
Private office says 12:30 wrap-up. Sharpish, they said.
The kangaroo court is in session.
Who mentioned it, Charles?
Thought it was common knowledge, much, if I may say, to my annoyance.
I have to say
Got
that...
your folder here. Do you mind if I thumb a lift to number 12?
Be right with you, Rose.
What you call common knowledge is sheer speculation.
Euphemisms. Truth. The place is full of them.
That woman gets ruder every time I see her. Why'd you keep her, Charles? She has no respect for anyone.
Don't be deceived by Rose's appearance. Underneath that ghastly cardigan beats great loyalty.
She's not liked, you know. Someone here, whose view I must say I respect, said she gives the Securitate a bad name.
Who was that? Mossman?
Gerald? Well, it might have been.
Why could you not have told me first?
Well, I haven't exactly decided on an appointment.
Yes, you have. You may feel you can't support me in Cabinet, Dougal, but I must tell you that I regard it as almost unforgivable for you to appoint a PPS without first consulting me.
I am the Home Secretary. Whom I choose to appoint as a parliamentary private secretary is entirely my private business.
Come, Charles. I'd have thought secretaries, parliamentary and private, were nothing more than tea-boys, mere serfs.
Cheers.
Your health, dear heart.
Well, they work quite hard. Means they've been noticed. It's the first rung towards a junior minister's job. Maybe something in my office.
An honour few might refuse, or even be allowed to.
It's a matter of form to let me know. I have a considerable interest that the right people are rewarded for loyal voting.
What does he actually do, other than get tea?
Runs the house end of things, gets to know what's going on, reports back on the mood, makes sure his minister's in touch.
Ah, I'd hardly recognised he was such an honourable beast.
Actually, Henry, you've probably got a lot in common. Except, of course, you get paid for espionage, whereas for Mossman it's a pastime. Time for another?
Yeah, then a little fodder, yes. I believe there's a recent bit of fish upstairs.
I doubt it. Listen, about Mossman. If you were to...
Take a little notice of him?
How perceptive. A seaman-like precaution, nothing more. Unofficially, of course.
Naturally, my dear, naturally.
Come on, time for lunch. Then perhaps a stroll through St. James's. Yes?
Aha. Tell me, is his ambition for number 10 real, or is it something he feels he has to maintain simply to keep where he is?
Oh, Dougal craves power, as some men lust for money. He spent most of his life being totally inadequate at almost anything that mattered to him.
And apparently attractive to women.
Mary says it's something to do with his sense of ruthlessness. He's only stayed with Roz because he believes divorce would ruin his chances for number 10.
It hasn't stopped his extraneous interests in the delightful Miss Bennet. Still taking tea, we hear.
Do we now? Well, there was all that business at Christmas. Well, you know you were there.
Yeah, most disagreeable.
But with her in Brussels now, I thought that was that. He's not said anything.
Would he?
Oh, I suppose not.
We're told we have no official interest, you understand?
No, of course.
We are told that ministerial favours are still bestowed. A small but charming cottage in France, I believe.
Well, I never.
Of course you didn't, Charles. Of course you didn't. Your days as a PPS are long since gone. Ah, so must I be.
I can hardly believe that. And he has the
You must
gall.
excuse me. I spy stranger. Much better to keep it that way. Many thanks for lunch.
What? Oh, right. Don't forget drinks, 6:30.
Bye.
My godfather James, the damned hypocrite.
Mumbling to yourself's a sign of age or panic. Or both. Who's your friend?
Hello, what are you doing here?
Oh, there's been a second reading of the Keep the Proletariat Out of the Parks, has there? Come on, who was he? I didn't know they made them anymore.
Just a friend. Why?
I haven't any friends with silver-topped canes and green bowlers.
Come on, you're not exactly flat caps and whippets anymore. Anyway, what a delightful surprise.
Listen, you. Government chief whips are not allowed to find anything delightful about opposition backbenchers.
Not even when I've known you since you were a toddler and your father...
Was your tutor. It'll never play in Paisley. Anyway, how are you? You look rough.
Thanks.
Oh, you deserve to. Makes you appear human.
Well, I am.
You can fool some of the people some of the time.
But not you, eh?
As you keep reminding me,
be
Pop was
blown.
your tutor. I know what you were like when you were real.
Surprise, surprise.
Worcester, heel. Heel, damn you. Worcester, sit. Stupid animal.
You've met Juliet Cameron, haven't you, darling? And this is Worcester, who takes Mary for walks.
Hi, nice to see you again.
Of course. Let me see. Jermyn Street 6 months ago. That's it. You just lunched together somewhere rather smart. And now here we are again. What a coincidence, darling.
And then he waltzes in here as large as life, like he owned the place.
Mind you, I'm not surprised. Nah, he's a nasty bit of work. Knew him when I was in the mob, you know. Story was he was given the adjutant's wife one.
Thank you very much, Arthur Hawkins. Out.
I'm only telling what they say.
Out. I told you before where the carpet starts. You
Keep your
stop,
hair on.
okay?
I'm going. Friendly warning, that's all.
Oh.
You'd tell Mr. Bannister I would.
And what would you tell Mr. Bannister?
Well, nothing, sir.
That has an increasingly familiar ring to it.
Just popped in, so to speak. I was telling Rosie...
That you was just popping out, so to speak.
Yeah, well, I'll be going then.
Glad to hear it. Cretin.
Thought you were a fan.
Nosy, that's him.
So, what are you supposed to tell me?
Nothing. Mrs. Bannister called, said the table's booked for 8 o'clock. Is that all right?
Yes, tell her I'll be home as soon as I can, but not before. Now, what's all this about?
Is that Mr. Mossman?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, is about right. He's trouble, Mr. Bannister. Real trouble. Oh, he hasn't done anything bit rude, bombastic, really, but... Oh, there's something about him. I've seen it before. And now he's Mr. Baxter's PPS, well...
It hasn't been confirmed.
Oh, it has. He's already announced it to the papers. Here, you want to read it? Makes him sound like Al Pacino and Cary Grant in one. Mr. Cleverclogs wants watching...
Ah, there you are, Charles. There you are.
Indeed, and there you are, Dougal.
I'd like a word.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it in my office.
I tell you, Charles, she's most rude.
Was it important?
What? Yes, of course.
The Whip's office?
I expect you can guess.
This is the Whip's office, Dougal, not a game show.
This morning. I can't for the life of me understand the PM's attitude. My feeling is that the public would like to see some sign that we are taking charge.
You were less than tactful.
I spoke my mind. But he didn't even wait to see if everyone agreed. Most unusual.
You think they were going to? Telling your colleagues that the Prime Minister ought to have a public relations facelift is one thing. Announcing it ex cathedra in Cabinet is quite another.
Ex what? But, Charles, I thought I could rely on you for support.
Excuse me, Mr. Bannister.
Just as I could rely upon you. Just a moment, Rose.
Well, that was different, of course.
Oh, really?
Well, it had to be said, and it was for everybody's good.
Dougal, I have known you for close on 40 years. During that time, you have never done a single thing for anyone's good apart from your own.
That's quite uncalled for.
First, you criticised me in Cabinet, more or less suggesting that the whole fiasco was my fault.
Well...
For which I accept part blame. But you do so because you're toadying the Prime Minister, so none of the blame falls on 10, where it should, and then you have the cheek, and if you'll forgive me, the stupidity, to implicitly criticise him. And you expect me to support you?
That's a simple explanation of a very complicated matter, Charles.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bannister, but it's number 10.
Now what?
Evening paper's got you and Mr. Baxter here all over the front page. 10's going barking mad.
Is that them on now?
They say somebody's leaked this morning's Cabinet, with Mr. Baxter saying power to the people or something. And you getting threatened with a chop.
My God, Father James, who's leaked all that?
They seem to think we should know.
You said yourself you looked tired.
There's a difference between being tired and not being able to cope. The Commons must be full of people who thrive on such pressure. I've always supposed Charles to be one of them.
But he's not. I know he gives that impression, but really he hates conflict. He goes through agonies.
I thought being Chief Whip was all about conflict. Certainly there have been moments when I've admired his decisiveness.
Do you know why he's so decisive, as you call it?
Pacifists stamp on spiders because they can't tolerate the agony of wondering what to do about them.
Precisely. He hates conflict, so he goes into a shell and leaves the ruthless patrician outside on guard.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about a drink? Sherry?
No, perhaps we'll wait a few moments.
No, I need one. And where is he now? Polly's getting herself all dolled up, and her father's secretary calls, not even him, to say he can't get away until later.
Well, surely there's nothing new in this. We were both brought up with it.
It's a birthday. Yeah. Different generation, I suppose. And we were both away at school. Cheers.
Cheers. Happy days. Now you feel threatened by it all.
Charles's public image is the old school. Stiff, uncompromising, slightly grey, humourless. Party manager. That's his public image. You and I know the real Charles. The one I married.
Rattling good company.
What worries me stiff, Henry, is that Charles is disappearing for good inside the shell. All we've got left is the patrician.
You want me to tell the driver half an hour?
Keep with him there.
On the other hand, I'll tell the driver to stand by.
Ah, There you are, Charles.
That is certainly possible, Dougal.
You were looking for me, I hear. Well, I must say I was looking for you.
I thought you should know.
Well, Charles, please, is it true that one of your whips has been having words with Gerald Mossman? I object when a whip, any whip, interrogates my PPS without my knowledge.
There was very good reason to believe that he leaked privileged information to the press.
Between these four walls, I know that.
Really?
Of course. And if you'd asked me, I'd have told you. Instead, the word's halfway round the lobby. It'll be front page stuff by the morning.
I see.
No, you don't. While you were playing your usual power game, and after you'd failed to hold the troops in line, I was running a very sophisticated ploy to get us all off the hook.
You told him he could?
No. I instructed him. Told him what to say.
You're mad, Dougal. Mad. Leaking our discussions in Cabinet? Madness. Number 10 would crucify if they knew.
You don't think I'd do something like this without the Bombardier's personal approval?
But that was Cabinet privilege. Threats of Cabinet changes are highly confidential.
But the fact that there was a threat to punish and make changes is a great confidence booster. The market's hardly budged today. The backbenchers are satisfied. It worked.
I simply will not believe this is the way we should be behaving.
You're fond of telling me how many times you've watched my back since we were at school. This time I watched my own. It worked. There's nothing like a little subterfuge. In fact, I quite enjoy it.
You crafty bastard.
That's what I thought. Well, I must be going. Got a theatre, you know. And Charles, kindly tell your Rottweilers to keep away from Gerald. He's a good man. You're slipping, Charles. You look tired, you know. Good night.
The little...
Mrs. Bannister's on too. Wants to know how long.
Blast his eyes. Tell her I'm sorry. I'll have to scrub round it. I'll see them at the flat later tonight. Tell her something's come up at the house, or anything.
Hello, Mrs. Bannister? Sorry about that. Mr. Bannister says he'll be with you in 10 minutes. OK. Have a good evening. Bye.
Rose, if you're looking for the George Washington Award, you've come to the wrong place.
In that episode of The House, you heard Julian Glover as Charles Bannister, Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter, Isla Blair as Mary Bannister, Christopher Benjamin as Henry Colvil, Siobhan Redmond as Juliet Cameron, Sheila Reid as Rose, James Garbutt as Arthur, and Terence Edmond as the Speaker. The House was written by Christopher Lee and produced by Neil Cargill. The House by Christopher Lee, starring Julian Glover as Charles Bannister and Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter, with Isla Blair as Mary Bannister, Christopher Benjamin as Henry Colvil, and Ruth Gemmell as Polly Bannister.
When I was but a youth, Charles, I longed to play the euphonium. And one day I did. Oh, such a comforting sound. I could sit like this forever.
I played the viola, you know. Quite liked it.
Two of a kind, dear heart. Few thoughts of the limelight. No ambitions to dazzle as swordsmen sitting in the first violins, nor the pure hell-raising of the trumpets. Two of a kind.
Temperament, I suppose. Mind you, don't euphoniums make a heck of a noise?
Oh, an impression rather than noise. A steady, necessary impression. Except for brief moments, mercifully unnoticed. Nevertheless, it is real, it is there. It has a humour and a purpose of its own.
Probably. Anyway, you're certainly the right shape for it.
Bravo, bravo, well done, well done. Yes, yes. And in our ways, we have continued to play euphonium and viola, have we not?
You might have. I've heard the intelligence community called some odd things.
The great British audience rarely notices the part we play. An impression, nothing more. An impression.
What's on your mind?
Oh, hardly anything, should there be?
You said no one noticed except for brief moments. What brief moments do you have in mind?
As you bring the matter up, there is something that has crossed our minds.
Our?
Some of our minds.
Officially?
Really, Charles.
I see.
I'm afraid we have a slight problem.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Not again. Not me, Henry. You have a problem, then that's exactly what it'll remain. Your problem, not mine.
Then perhaps I should rephrase it. We have a problem.
I preferred your first version. Now I must be off. Dougal's giving a ghastly party for his new PPS. I promised to put in an appearance. Oh, by the way...
Ah, Mossman Gerald. You asked me if he was known to us. I attended to the matter personally.
Yes?
Clean. There was a little doubtful matter, a lady, Hong Kong, but nothing really. But we continue to look for cobwebs.
Oh, thanks for that. Now, if you'll excuse me...
Charles, fair exchange.
30 seconds.
You remember our little difficulty over a security leak in the Commons?
With a certain disgust, yes.
Disagreeable, enormously so. You will recall that the grand finale was the arrival of a visitor.
Defector, you mean?
I imagine I might. It seems, Charles, that our visitor has ambitions as a writer of fact rather than fiction.
Oh, a literary spy, eh? So what's the problem? I'd have thought after all that stuff from friend Gordievsky, there was nothing more to be said or written.
That it were true. What you may not have known was that because everyone knew about Gordievsky, few noticed our visitor, and even fewer his importance.
Was he that important?
Certainly. He was the man who nudged Gordievsky in our direction in the first place. You don't really think Gordievsky did it off his own bat, do you?
I thought that one of your chaps turned him when he was in Copenhagen or some such place.
4 years before that, we'd been tipped off that he was ripe for turning.
And the tipster was a Russian? This other chap?
Certainly. Our very own fifth man, our own squirrel in their larder. So satisfying.
I see.
But not all, Charles, not all. There's more, which is why some of us need your help.
I'm sorry, I'm late for what Dougal regards as an important date.
Look, there's a new exhibition of upside-down paintings at the Tate. Why don't we smuggle our intellects into those dubious precincts? Shall we say 11 tomorrow?
Oh, very well.
Ah, Charles, there you are. I was about to say a few words.
Indeed, Dougal, here I am. Sorry, held up in St. James's Park.
Muggers or joggers?
Hello, Donny. Henry sends his love.
Sends his love. My, such honour. Henry has everything sent.
Does he still have Fortnum's deliver 2 breakfast eggs every morning?
Goodness gracious me, no. Wake up, Dougal. Henry only shops on the south side of Jermyn Street, remember?
Anyway, he did. Well, which reminds me, Dougal, something may be coming up in that direction. We better keep in touch.
Yes, of course. Jermyn Street.
Dzerzhinsky Square would be more accurate. I sense trouble at the MI6 mill.
Sanctuary House. I hardly think a rather public party is the ideal moment.
Don't mind me. I'm 3 wise monkeys in one. In fact, if I've any more of this revolting stuff, I'll forget where I am. Never mind what I hear.
I'm sure we could find some orange juice, darling. I'll speak to you about it tomorrow, Dougal.
Of course.
If the... excuse me. If the common sparkling had been fed to lions, Christianity would have survived in greater numbers.
I'm sure Gerald doesn't mind. Anyway, he's only a PPS. Hardly a reason to break out the Krug or Dom Perignon.
It's very generous of you. PPSs don't normally have a launch party.
Well, Gerald's not a normal PPS. I spotted him myself. Very talented. He's already made something of an impression, I hear.
Somewhat abrasively so.
Madam?
Well,
Charles, that you're not
just
still
one more.
miffed about
Just
him.
prove I'm right.
Sir?
Not just now.
No, thank you. Miffed? Not really. But, as I said, I would have preferred to have been consulted rather than hear from a member of the opposition.
That Cameron woman. She's a dangerous little tart.
I hardly...
Careful, Dougal. The leggy Miss Cameron's decrepit father was Charles's tutor at Oxford, wasn't he, darling?
Look, I'm sorry, Dougal, but I've got to be in Hendon by 7. I'm doing that any questions thing.
No, of course, Charles, of course. I'm just going to say a few words. You'll stay for that, won't you?
Oh, absolutely. But then I'd better be heading for Hendon.
With the delightful Miss Cameron. Oh, yes, please.
Her? I'd have thought there'd have been a few questions about her rather than for her. Never ask me nowadays, Charles. Perhaps you'd mention it while you're there.
No, thanks. Darling, don't you think...
One has to have a full glass, darling, to drink the health of Dougal's protégé, doesn't one?
Mary, please.
Charles, you're repeating yourself.
Hello, long faces.
Polly!
So, this is where Brinkley's Anonymous meet.
What a lovely surprise. What are you doing here?
Don't worry, Daddy. Shan't embarrass you. Hi, Mummy.
So that's where it went. I spent half an hour looking for that.
Ah, it's a very pretty frock. Aye, very flattering.
It's a dress. But thank you.
It's only a frock when I wear it, Dougal. Over 40 and it's a frock. Under 40 and it's something I borrowed from Mummy, poor thing.
Anyway, you look smashing, Polly. Look, why don't you come up to Hendon for the programme with me? It'll be all over by 9. We could all meet up for supper.
Sorry. I think I'm supposed to be doing something. Ah, there he is. I must go. See you.
So, not only her party ticket, but also her meal voucher.
She'll break a few hearts, that one.
Not his, she won't.
Gerald Mossman, she's with him?
I think they're good friends. Or so I hear.
Darling, didn't you know? Oh, we are slipping. I thought the Chief Whip was supposed to know everything.
You sure I can't give you a lift? It's no problem.
Come on, don't be silly. Government mandarins don't give opposition coolies lifts in the official rickshaw. You know that. Besides, the Beeb's laying on a limo, which means I can have one of their watered-down gins.
The famous tongue looseners.
If you don't like it, why go?
Oh, I do like it in a way. After all, when else does the Chief Whip get an audience?
Does that matter?
Naturally, it's an opportunity to explain government policy, as well as expressing considered personal opinions.
You know, Chang, there isn't a single minute in your life when you relax, is there?
I'm loyal to my instincts as well as my politics, if that's what you mean.
It's not that. It's the blindness of instinctively scoring points or making the sort of PR statement that you just made. Save it for the audience, not me.
Oh, come on.
Well, there you are. That's what you get for chatting up the coolies.
I think I resent that suggestion.
Of course you do. That's what's nice about you.
Well, thank you for that, anyway. By the way, I'm at Ditchley Park this weekend. Thought of dropping over to Oxford. Look up your father. You going to be there?
Come on, I will be late. I'll race you to Hendon.
I'm sorry he had to go rushing off like that. He's overdoing it, you know. Has been for some time. My personal opinion...
Do you have any others, Dougal?
Well, I'm sorry, I was trying to be constructive. As a friend, of course.
I told him. He takes no notice. But then he might if you did. I'm only his wife. As you so perceptively point out, Dougal, you're his friend.
Of course. Men understand friendship, you know.
Women don't.
Certainly not. They can't cope with stress and friendship. Women are so easily offended. That's why their friendships never last.
Especially with husbands.
Well, not their own.
Dougal, thanks.
Madam? Sir?
Oh, yeah. Yes, please. Delicious. Oops.
May I? Have this one.
Oh, thank you.
You know Gerald, don't you, Mummy?
We met at...
Brighton. Last year's conference. For Wednesday.
Invaluable, a good memory. Polly, here a moment. There's someone I want you to meet. Will you excuse me?
Well, Mr. Mossman, there can't be many PPSs who've been launched in such style.
Call me Gerald, please.
If you wish.
I do wish. I'm sorry Charles couldn't stay. Or do you call him Charlie? No, he's definitely a Charles, huh?
Second sons of 7th barons are invariably called Charlie, most of them baptized so very upstage in county.
How fascinating.
Not really, I made it up.
You're very convincing. But then intelligent women often are, eh?
Aren't you supposed to circulate? Get to meet everyone?
I'm getting to know you, especially as you've been abandoned.
Didn't you know? Cabinet wives are the last of the memsahibs. They wait to be called upon for official duties, provide clean shirts and in extremis clean sheets when others have been dirtied, and all with a smile.
Polly is very like you, you understand?
I must say it was very sweet of you to invite her to your coming-out party. She's very young.
20 is no longer very young, is it?
It's less than half my age.
Nonsense. You could be sisters.
Oh.
Can I get you a Harry Toffers?
Oh, no,
You have the same eyes. Very intelligent, but if you don't mind me saying so, very, to say the very, very least. Eh?
My God, you don't waste time, do you? I wonder what Dougal's done with Polly. We really must be going.
Actually, we had thought of supper somewhere.
You see something of each other, don't you? Polly mentions lunch occasionally.
You don't mind, do you?
I might. As I said, she's 20. When you get to my age, you know how old that is.
One for you, and the rest for Daddy. No one ever writes to me. I don't even get junk mail.
Here, coffee. First thing cure for the lonely.
As if we had some instant, some dishy postman would knock on the door and borrow it.
Think yourself lucky. There's far too much of it around. We've been thinking of legislation, but there's too much involved.
We're putting a poll tax on coffee borrowers next.
Stupid bill. Sure, I paid it. I think your father's still on junk mail. We've gone on to spare mails, darling. Not quite the same thing.
What?
Never mind. Stick to your paper. Have they said anything nice about you?
Why should they? They never do.
Not the house. I mean, any questions? You were very good, after a fashion.
I don't think they ever review it, do they? Can't think why I bother, really.
Publicity, isn't it? Trying to prove you're human after all. Don't tell me you listened.
I seemed to think I hadn't much choice. Your father had gone. You'd tripped off with Greasy, you can call me Gerald, and frankly, I'm not quite old enough for hot cocoa and a good book.
He's not Greasy. He makes me laugh. Anyway, you were well away. I bet you can't even remember a word Daddy said.
What exactly do you mean by that?
Nothing.
Well, I'll be blowed. Dougal's actually put an announcement in the Times about last night. Listen to this. The Right Honourable Dougal Baxter MP, Secretary of State for Home Affairs, was host at a reception at the House of Commons last night to mark the appointment of Mr. Gerald Mossman MP.
Well, that wasn't his idea. It was Gerald's.
Pushy.
My God, Father James, listen to this. Among those present were Right Honourable Charles Bannister, QC MP, and Mrs. Bannister, and Mr. Gerald Mossman MP, and Miss Polly Bannister. Full the cheek.
True, pushy.
Well, what's wrong with that? It's true.
Well, it makes you sound as if, well, you and Mossman are, well, I don't know.
Well, I suppose it makes a change from the gossip columns.
So
I'm not sure I approve.
Sure.
I'm not sure it's any of your business.
I happen to be your father, remember? And while you're living in this flat, I'm sure it is.
Oh, don't worry yourself. We can soon fix that, can't we?
As you're fond of saying, that, my dear, was very unbright of you.
Pictures like this one. They tell one so much about oneself and so much about the artist.
Really? Well, it's red, green and orange. Looks like a cheap carpet. What's he called it? Distant noise? Well, I never.
Now, noise is something we hear. The artist has used colour to scream, and yet it has fallen on deaf ears. But he would argue that the noise is there. You've simply not heard.
I don't need a workshop manual to look at a constable or a turner.
Now, this fine fellow...
Don't tell me it's a voice crying in the wilderness.
Not quite, but close. As it happens, I have 2 of his earlier works. They're now worth a tidy sum.
Oh, I certainly wouldn't quarrel with the investment possibilities. That does appeal to me.
I find that investing in something of which others little know does have advantages.
If you get in early enough.
Which we did.
And now I take it that your particular artist has started to scream and wishes to be heard.
A clear voice rather than a scream.
He has a great deal to say that hasn't been said already by the Russian school.
That should hardly surprise you, dear heart.
But it does. I was given to understand that Gordievsky had rather tidied the lot. Fifth Man, Hollis, Wilson, Who Didn't Kill Gateskill, everything.
Absolutely. Such clear brushstrokes. Bold, incisive, clear colours. But few tones, few images behind the main theme.
Your friend is different.
He knew or knows more people, especially in this country.
Unfinished business. People who were never in the mainstream.
So understanding, Charles. Pupils, masters, craftsmen, all beavering away while the main characters gathered our attention. Perhaps wrongly so.
Then what's the problem? What's going on in that Machiavellian mind of yours?
Charles, I sense an insult. If I pluck your barb from my soul, it is to remove a misunderstanding.
He said that?
No, I did. But certain of our number need a little help from the state politic. Our artist has worked hard. The colours are modest but interesting. He clears up, as you called it, unfinished business. We need you to encourage your bombardier to agree to their public viewing.
But we allowed Gordievsky to publish, so what's the problem?
Sadly, my lord and master, the mighty sea, disapproves. We, that is, some of us, want him overruled.
I have to tell you, Charles, I detest these little cabals, especially in the Twilight world.
We both do, but Henry seems to have a good, if not curious, point.
Well, that's as maybe, but it's highly irregular. Why should C be objecting? Or is this another of your brother-in-law's fantasies?
Henry hasn't experienced a fantasy since puberty. No. According to him, C was also against the Gordievsky publication, but was persuaded otherwise. We both know that the political climate changed between the decision and the book. It nearly backfired.
I simply don't think it's important enough for us to risk upsetting the Prime Minister. I don't see what we have to gain.
There's talk of unfinished business. People have got away with it. Not big fish, but that doesn't matter. Not according to Henry.
Well, I'm inclined to go along with C. Frankly, the only reason to publish a book is to make a few bob for the stinking little toads.
It has the attraction of reminding would-be defectors, doubles, whatever you want to call them.
Traitors, that's what I'd call them.
It has the attraction of broadcasting the message that the Brits look after defectors, so it's worthwhile coming over. Or so Henry says.
Times have changed, Charles. The spying business is full of yesterday's men. You've only got to look around this place to see that.
Talking of which, or even whom...
Yes, Gerald?
Excuse me, but we're top for questions in 20 minutes.
Thanks, I'll be right there. Well, Charles...
Just a moment, Dougal. Gerald?
Yeah?
In spite of your newfound standing, will you remember that if you have need to come in here, then do so through that door and not this one. The corridor door is my private entrance, not yours.
Sorry about that. Didn't fancy Puff the Magic Dragon out there, eh?
If you mean by that my confidential secretary, then that is definitely the way in and out. Thank you.
Why is it that about the only time we meet to talk is at meal times?
I wouldn't call tea a meal. Most people are like that, aren't they?
Perhaps I should become a backbencher, then I could table questions and talk to you that way.
Chief whips don't answer questions. I thought you at least knew that. I'm sorry.
Just me, forget it. How was your meeting this afternoon?
Usual 2:30 whips meeting. Excuses, plots, counterplots. Storm warnings and excuses for plots and counterplots.
All the prefects sneaking and toadying.
Yeah, you could be right. There are times when I feel like the head boy, and nothing more. You know what Rose calls whips? My fags.
Oh, yes?
Don't be smutty. Actually, talking of sneaks and toadies, Polly's not keen on Mossman, is she?
He has a certain charm.
Blast it, she's 20.
That's one reason why he has a certain charm.
Well, I'm afraid it's totally lost on me. He irritates me. And he keeps saying, eh? Ghastly fellow. I would have thought Polly had better taste.
What you and I think is hardly important.
We're her parents.
That's all we are. Charles, you've got to go easy on her. She's your daughter, not one of your backbenchers.
Meaning?
Take this morning. You treated her like a lager lout.
I what?
Of course you did. She's like you, totally unbending, and she meant what she said. She's quite capable of packing her bags, and it won't matter how many three-line whips you put out. She'll go. I know my daughter. And it's about time you did.
I assure you, my dear, this is not a conspiracy. But I can see why your would-be laird might think so.
Dougal has a point. After all, you must admit your crowd have a reputation for infighting and bitchiness.
Really, Charles, I admit no such thing.
I still don't understand why C wants this chopped. I would have thought your people would have come out of it rather well.
He belongs to the school of total anonymity.
What about the book itself?
Not all the names are in it, obviously, but the clues are hardly cryptic.
So it would be obvious to any one of us who knew the rest of the picture?
Exactly, Charles. And that's the cause of his rather dull dilemma. Publication will force government into taking action, perhaps even prosecuting.
I'm not sure we'd be too keen. At the same time, I can't see the bombardier wanting to be saddled with a whitewash. Not with the state of this Parliament. Tell me, who are these people?
You don't need to know.
It could make all the difference to my enthusiasm for your cause.
I don't see why. We're talking principle, not who's who. That's the main difference in the office. There's a group of us who believe that the unfinished business, I think you called it, should be finished.
But for such anonymous creatures?
No one remains anonymous, Charles. The monument to espionage is similar to that of the unknown soldier. To someone somewhere, the flame represents truth. Some are better than others at living with that truth.
Treachery is hardly a form of truth worthy of a cenotaph.
I not unnaturally agree, but for many of the names I would honour on that cenotaph, there are others who caused them to be put there.
Vengeance?
Unfinished business, Charles. Untidy. So disagreeably untidy.
She shouldn't be long. She got back about half an hour ago. Will you have a sherry?
Thank you, no. But that's very kind of you.
Hardly. There's quite a lot left. I thought PPSs worked 24 hours a day. In Charles's time they did. We certainly didn't find much time for black ties.
Nothing's changed, I'm afraid. This is official. The Secretary of State's hosting a bunch from the American Bar Association.
How convenient.
I would have preferred something less daunting than a Harrison Birtwistle concert.
I shouldn't let Polly hear you say that. Otherwise you'll be on ice cream duty for the whole performance. She adores Harry Birtwistle. We both do.
Oh, really? Oh, please don't get me wrong. I personally think he's wonderful.
Are you enjoying PPSing? Personally, I'd have thought Dougal was the most infuriating boss in the house.
He has his moments.
How sweet of you to say so. You're very ambitious, aren't you?
That's why we get into the house, isn't it?
No. You get into the house because some people trust you enough to elect you. Or so I thought. In your case, I think there was something of a safe seat.
I worked hard to get selected. I'm prepared to work hard to get anything I want.
Ah, there you are, darling. Gerald was about to give up.
Good evening.
So formal.
Come off it. Do sit down. Dougal would never forgive him if I didn't turn up. I have to tell him what the concert's about. He should pay me as a consultant.
Well, you'll have lots to tell him tonight. I know you're going to love it. It's almost a whole evening of Harry Birtwistle. I particularly asked that we should go when I heard who it was.
You're joking. Birtwistle. Well, thanks a bundle. Are you serious?
Well, yes. Actually, I thought you liked him.
But the front 4 rows will be full of psychiatrists. You look. Me like him? Whatever gave you that idea?
The attorney had them for lunch, and now I have to sit through some obscure trumpet concerto played by a Swedish bodybuilder. I thought I was drugs, hanging, prisons, boat people, and customs. Safe from this culture nonsense.
You'll love it once you're there.
Perry Masons and buskers and dinner jackets. I will not. I hate music.
Never mind, you can use Polly as a crib and say all the okay things.
Of course. You never have this sort of trouble. Chief whips never do. You wait. I hope you get trade next time. In fact, I shall lend my support to the idea of the next shuffle. See how you like it.
I have other problems, like a majority of 5. I'm just going along to see the Prime Minister. I gather you've spoken.
Yeah, you're probably right, but not for the reasons you said. Digging out some of these aging Philbys could be quite good for us.
Take the heat off, you think?
Of course. The punters like a good spy yarn, makes the blighters feel good. Anything that diverts attention is good news. Look what happened to Wilson when England won the World Cup.
It could backfire.
I thought you were all for it. If you're not, why ask me to support you?
No, I think we're right. My motives are rather different, that's all. If there are traitors at large, I think we should go for them.
Of course, we'll have to make sure that we have all the answers before the questions are asked.
We shouldn't have to worry. If you remember, we weren't in government then.
I think you'll find the Bombardier believes I've thought this one through to our advantage.
You told the Prime Minister it was your idea?
Of course. Why else would I support it? Bye now.
My godfather, James.
Hello, Chang. You look miles away.
Hello. Sorry, I was.
Look, are you still going to Ditchley next weekend?
As far as I know, why?
You mentioned...
Coming over to Oxford to see your pa, yes?
Right. I just thought I'd tell you, I'm probably going to be there. So, well, if you fancy rock buns and tea bags, drop in.
DG's known about most of them for some time. He's quite happy as long as there are few surprises.
And as long as he's not on the list.
Uncalled for, dear heart, in spite of his disgusting ties.
I take it we're not to be embarrassed. Presumably the list will go to 10 before the JIC. You've got 3 weeks.
Naturally, there's a procedure. As you know, Charles, We're the last people to break step or interfere with procedures.
No, Henry, I didn't know that. Names?
Does it matter?
I'm like anyone else, intrigued. As Dougal says, we punters like a good spy yarn.
Not yet, dear boy, not yet. Though I think there'll be one that'll amuse you.
I'm not sure I'd find the name of a traitor amusing.
This one you might. You know him. Or rather you did.
Dead?
Not noticeably.
I always imagined I had a good nose for treachery. Obviously not. Go on. Who?
Oxford, dear heart. Your old tutor, Cameron.
In that episode of The House, you heard Julian Glover as Charles Bannister, Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter, Isla Blair as Mary Bannister, Christopher Benjamin as Henry Colvil, Siobhan Redmond as Juliet Cameron, Ruth Gemmell as Polly Bannister, and David Neville as Gerald Mossman. The House was written by Christopher Lee and produced by Neil Cargill. The House by Christopher Lee, starring Julian Glover as Charles Bannister and Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter.
Steady. It's not exactly a Gainsborough, but careful.
Now, let's stick it here while we shift this sofa thing. Then room to swing a cat in this place.
That'll do. Now, give me a hand to get this one down.
Steady now, girl. Oh, hey, mind yourself. Oh, I know, Mr. Baxter.
What's going on, Arthur? Don't tell me the Chief Whip's selling off the national treasures.
We're having a bit of a swap around.
Woman's instinct, sir, to have a bit of a move around. Leave well alone's my motto.
Anyway, I'd hardly call this a treasure. Jigsaw puzzle ships as far as I can see. Not very good, neither.
It's been there as long as I can remember. Where's it going?
I ain't sure yet. But this other one came in this morning, so we thought, or rather Rosie thought, we'd do a bit of hanging, so to speak.
Mr. Bannister wants it in here. I reckon this is about the only place to put it. So, the Battle of the Nile has to find somewhere else to hang.
Ah, this is the famous portrait. Let's see now. Aye, I can see the similarity. The old judge was certainly a stern-looking chappie. You can see where Mr. Bannister gets his distinguished looks. Anyway, where is the son of the famous father? I expected to see him at lunch.
We're not sure. Something about his knee, according to the private secretary.
I thought he was at Oxford at the weekend. One of those Ditchley conferences.
He won't be long. The Monday Whips meeting's at 2:30. He never misses.
Did you mention I was looking for him?
I couldn't. He's travelling.
Just imagine him with the old black cap on.
What about the car phone?
The Willie's just thinking about him, that would.
He's in Mrs. Bannister's motor. She and Polly had to pick him up from Ditchley Park. Mr. McMurdo says he can't drive. Crutches, he said.
Are you sure? This is most inconvenient. Most inconvenient.
Here, listen to this.
I just don't know how you can do that. I feel quite sick just reading the fuel gauge. Stupid taxis. Sorry. Anything on the box tonight?
Should we get that far through the day, I imagine there is.
It's the car, not her, isn't it? Anyway, stick to your paper and don't look.
Well, I never. Number 10's appointed a new yes-man.
A spokesman. Stay green, stay green. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't change. What's happened to old gig lamps, then?
No, a so-called advisor. Someone called...
Brilliant. What timing?
Morning, Winston.
Who?
Ignore her. She's on first-name terms with all the statues in London. Who?
Someone called Marcel Weston, whoever he is. Heard of him?
No. Should I? Shall I go straight in?
Yes, right round. It says here that he was at the LSE and the Centre for Policy Analysis in London, and is the distinguished visiting professor of penal reform at Harvard University.
They probably need one.
Here we are, all in one piece. You're going to manage with that stick?
It's very him.
I should think so, thanks. But the question is, do we need one, or rather, does number 10?
Ah, Charles, there you are.
Indeed, Dougal, indeed.
You got my message. I've been looking for you.
So touching. Afraid not. I've just this moment arrived.
I'm told you weren't at prayers this morning, is that right?
That is, but no doubt I'll be getting a full briefing, without the benefit of the liturgical drama, of course.
Penal reform. Well, that's my department. I don't need some blown-away academic to tell me what to do.
My understanding is that it's not you who's getting one. It's the Bombardier.
You should have heard my PUS this morning.
No, thank you.
Did I know who was behind this appointment? Was it at my recommendation? Of course I didn't know. Of course it wasn't.
Presumably your PUS is a little put out.
Presumably. A little? It is a slur on the department. His department, as far as he's concerned.
Permanent secretaries do tend to be possessive.
First thing this morning, the bloody man pounced in like some supercilious head waiter, which is about all he is. Wanted to know if I was satisfied that the PM had full confidence in the department. In other words, me.
I see.
Well, there's more than I do. I was relying on you, Charles, to fill me in after prayers.
What does the private office tell young people?
Stuff all. And now the Bombardier's off to Welsh Wales, and I can't get a word until tomorrow. It's not good enough.
So you keep saying. Actually, I'm inclined to agree. I've got my whips in 10 minutes. I'll see if they've anything. Meanwhile, I suggest your people keep plugging at the private office.
My PPS is sniffing around now, but I refuse to look silly in front of my own people, you know.
Indeed I do.
It's bad for my authority. These are difficult enough times. I wish you'd been there, Charles. I really do.
Well, I'm sorry, old man, but as you see, I ran, or rather fell, into a little difficulty.
What? Oh, the steak. Yes, of course. But let me know if you hear anything. I'm relying on you, you know.
Yes, of course, Dougal. Yes, of course you are.
Hello there, Chang. Very elegant. It suits you.
Hello, you. I'm glad something does. How are you? Sorry about yesterday. I hope your father wasn't annoyed.
What happened? It looks painful.
Blasted knee. The conference finished in the morning and I was coming downstairs and, well, apparently according to the hospital, there's many a slip between the bottom step and the hall.
Don't worry about it. He was fine. He said that even as an undergraduate, you were always late.
Look, can we talk later? I'm, well, a little adrift.
Oh, never mind. The rock buns were stale anyway, and the tea bags will keep. Perhaps another time.
You weren't bad on any questions, you know. First time, wasn't it?
Thank you, kind sir.
Seriously, we could do with a few more like you. It's all to do with image nowadays, marketing, PR. Oh, pass the sugar, will you? It's dishonest, but that's the name of the game.
Don't tell me you've sold out to the image makers. I seem to remember, last time I heard you on any questions, you gave them hell.
Not really. But they always hope I will, that's why they ask me. Well, they used to ask me. They like a good punch-up, gives them ratings. But it rarely happens. It's all thoughtful stuff now. They want the thinking people on.
So the great Dennis Wigton's a dinosaur, almost extinct.
Going that way. You won't find many like me round this place in 10 years from now. The flat hat's finished as a passport. Now it's the mortarboard.
A degree doesn't guarantee political capability. It certainly has nothing to do with integrity.
I wonder where you got that from. No, don't get me wrong.
No,
I'm all for it. To my mind, it's like paying your dues. State gives you a good education, so why not come here and use it to put things right?
Wigton idealism isn't dead, then.
This is the age of specialists, not gut feelers. Specialists are worshipped. Look at this new chap they got at number 10.
Marcel Weston. He knows his stuff.
You would have to know him, wouldn't you? Me, I hadn't heard of him till this morning.
I've met him a few times and read a couple of his monographs.
You mean pamphlets? That's what we always had, pamphlets. Monograph's American, isn't it? So, how well do you know him?
Reasonably.
What's that supposed to mean?
Whatever reasonably normally means nosy.
So, I got close, did I? Well, I never. You're a dark one, aren't you, Jules?
Bit low, if you ask me. Anyone sits on that sofa will bang their head on it. Oh, could have it on that wall.
I'll take it over to number 12. Doesn't matter. I'll leave it to you. I usually do. Oh!
You sure you're okay?
Absolutely, and I don't fuss. And thanks. What on earth would I do without you?
According to that Mr. Mossman, plenty. You heard his latest. Arthur was telling him...
When doesn't he?
There wasn't enough room to swing his ginger Tom in these offices, and Mr. Gerald Almighty Mossman says the quickest way to save space is to give me the elbow.
Don't take any notice. I run this office with the private secretary, not some wet-behind-the-ears PPS.
Yeah, well, Mr. McMurdo's not exactly secretary of the fan club, is he? Me being over here means there's 3 of us in that broom cupboard of his instead of 2. I'm an anomaly.
Oh, come on.
Not civil service. We both know private secretaries don't like anomalies.
Talking of which, anything at prayers about the new adviser? Did the deputy mention it?
Not to me. But according to Arthur, Mr. Mossman was talking to him about getting a couple of days for a prisons debate.
Mossman did? Ouch! Oh, blast, blast, blast! And blast that man! Parliamentary time's nothing to do with him.
Arthur Hawkins may be a pillock on his good days, but he's not known as the Good Shepherd for nothing. He made sure that I heard about it 2 minutes after he did.
You must understand, Charles, Gerald's an enthusiast.
So was Che Guevara. I will not have him discussing private business with my messenger. It's not on. And another thing, I will not have him making remarks about the suitability of my personal secretary.
I can't stop the man having personal opinions.
Anyway, has he come up with anything yet?
Shortly, I expect. He was lunching in the Harcourt room. Those who know were there.
Very smart. But then, as I'm finding out, he's something of an Harcourt habitué. Peanuts, green cocktails, and strong-fingered harpists. I think Polly's expression would be naff.
You mustn't let your personal feelings into this, Charles.
I'm more concerned with Polly's personal feelings. They are seeing rather a great deal of each other.
He never mentions her.
If he was serious rather than ambitious, he would.
Then there's nothing to worry about. But as I say, don't let it get in the way. That's your personal problem. This business of Weston is far more important.
To you?
Of course. And it should be to you. Charles, I've mentioned this before. Some of us are concerned that you're losing your grip. Don't.
That's vaguely insulting, even from you.
No, it isn't. We've known each other too long for it to be. Don't forget, I know about insults. Weston's an insult. Instead of arguing about a miserable PPS, we should be deciding how to stop this nonsense before it goes any further.
It has no further to go, old man. The Prime Minister has the right to appoint anyone as adviser on a temporary or permanent basis.
In theory, of course.
Come on, don't be naive. In practice, of course your PUS is put out. He wants to know what you're going to do about it. The Army call it leadership, Dougal. We call it politics.
Very clever, Charles. Then what do you suggest?
You could resign.
You're out of your mind.
There are ways of starting rumours that you're so angry you're considering it.
That's very risky. Do you think the Bombardier would back down?
Do you?
Who knows?
We both do. It's extremely unlikely.
I prefer to keep empty promises for elections. If I threaten to go and the Bombardier ignores me, then I'd have to resign. And what precisely would I get out of that?
There is precedent, Dougal, and in somewhat similar circumstances.
Mr. Speaker, we on this side of the House welcome what he has to say on a commission of inquiry. But it raises a difficult question in my mind, and, Mr. Speaker...
Come on, you little baggage, out with it.
I am sure in the minds of the public. Does not this morning's news that the Prime Minister has appointed a personal adviser on this very subject of penal reform suggest that the Home Secretary hasn't any ideas of his own? Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, would he tell the House if he has read the latest monograph written by this unelected member of the Cabinet? And, Mr. Speaker, would the Home Secretary tell us exactly what contribution he expects Professor Weston to make to his department?
Mr. Speaker, I have already told the House I have today established the terms of reference for the Commission of Inquiry into Prison Reform in the light of recent events.
Order! The Home Secretary! Order! The Home Secretary must be allowed to answer. Mr. Secretary Baxter!
A copy, Mr. Speaker, of those terms of reference has been placed in the library for all right honourable and honourable members to see. At the appropriate time, I will make a further statement. This, Mr. Speaker, as the honourable member opposite well knows, is not the time.
Lost their tongues?
Or their stomachs, more like it.
Mr. Speaker, will the Home Secretary tell the House if the Prime Minister consulted him before Professor Weston's appointment? And if the answer is no, does this mean that his department, like the Treasury and Foreign Office, is now being run from Downing Street?
You know, you could be onto a good thing, Jules. Could make a bit of a name for yourself.
I only said I know Marcel.
Which is not a bad start. Any road, you must know him pretty well, compared with anyone on our side.
First names doesn't mean anything more than that.
I wasn't suggesting anything. But with your background, you being a sociologist by trade, you know about prisons. You know what he's on about.
That doesn't make me an expert.
Look, Jules, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. You've read this bloke's stuff. You talk the same language. You can guess what he's telling them.
Not true. Well, not quite, anyway, but I suppose I do know where he's coming from.
Which is more than any of us do. Anyway, look what happened in there. You had Dougal flaming Baxter dribbling and choking. Of course he hadn't been consulted. We all knew that. But you were the one who put him on the spot.
Not really. The front bench started it.
Ah, but they did what they always do. They tried to be too clever. You heard them. You said, "Did you know the bloke was getting the job?" And he more or less said, "No, I didn't." Wham! Stuffed.
Maybe. But, quite frankly, Marcel Weston's not going to do me any favours. We're hardly on the same side.
How long have you known him?
He was teaching at the LSE when I was trying to decide what to do. So, 10 years. He convinced me it was worth doing a PhD.
And you still see him?
Well...
Oh, sorry. Sorry, not prying, honest.
Yes, you are.
Well, if you know him that well, professionally like, you could stir up all sorts of clag. I can just imagine you stuffing them at PMQs.
It's hardly the first time Number 10's brought in someone over a minister's head.
And that little Mossman's already greasing his way round the lobby, dropping hints that Baxter could get nasty and embarrass the Prime Minister.
I don't think he's the type. He hasn't got the guts. Anyway, he'd need people behind him to get very far with that one.
He's got Charlie Bannister behind him. Mind you. Why he bothers, I don't know. Bannister's a pretty straight bloke.
They're old friends. They were in the same house at school, and Baxter's his daughter's godfather.
Oh, yeah? Where did you pick that up?
I'm not sure. I suppose I must have read it somewhere.
I suppose you might have done.
Well, why shouldn't I?
No reason. Just a word of advice from an old hand, Jules. That's the sort of stuff you keep to yourself.
What do you mean by that?
Tongues in this place wag like fly lizards.
Listen, Dennis. I can look after my own life. I really can. I know you mean well, but I'm not a kid, and I'm not daft.
Well.
There wasn't a hint of support, Charles. Not one of the toads got up to say anything. That wouldn't have been the case in the past.
I thought you told me your PPS had a number of our people.
Well, you're the chief whip.
You expect me to dig you out when your own method doesn't work, is that it?
Of course. You're our adjutant. I have a department to run as well as producing party pieces for this place. You have nothing else to do but make sure this end of it's as easy as possible.
Oh, thank you for your frankness, old man.
I'm your friend, Charles. You know that.
I knew there was a simple explanation. Oh, by the way, did your PPS find out anything at his expensive reception?
Of course. I wouldn't have encouraged him if I hadn't thought it worthwhile.
I see.
Gerald tells me the Bombardier's private secretary is behind the whole affair.
Then it's set in concrete.
There was someone from one of the think tanks in the Harcourt room today. According to this person...
Who was?
Later, Charles, later. According to this person, the private secretary read an article by this Weston chappie, passed it on to the Bombardier with the recommendation that he should be signed up immediately.
This isn't the first time. The private secretary really does have too much power, you know.
Don't worry. Gerald has come up with something, or rather somebody. Later this evening I think I'll have a surprise for you, Charles.
You're too... kind.
I hope that leg of yours doesn't mean you'll not be back for the vote. It would be very inconvenient, you understand.
Certainly. You can't tell me now?
Won't. Better to make sure. Then perhaps a glass in your room? Immediately after the division?
I dread to think what your father will say.
Well, they're good friends, aren't they?
Friendships rarely stretch to extended slipper space and one more for the bathroom.
He's really grumpy lately. If that's middle age, I'm going to do it all now and then join Exit.
There's a lot on his mind, and his stupid knee hasn't helped.
I suppose you mean me.
Actually, I didn't. I was thinking far more about the house. The pressure's really on. I remember Grandpa saying that the Chief Whip's job was to make sure the Prime Minister could choose the time of the next election and no one else.
Tough. Grandpa never got ratty.
Grandpa was happy sitting on the back benches.
Do I have to wait till next year for that money he left me?
As far as I know. Why?
Just wondered.
Come on. You're like your Uncle Henry. You never just wonder.
I was thinking about a flat, that's all.
Were you now? It wasn't exactly a fortune.
I don't need one, just a flat.
Flats cost fortunes, anything decent, that is.
Or maybe I don't want a decent one. And what about you and Daddy? You could put something in.
Really?
Other people do.
Hello, anyone at home?
Polly, we are not other people. Anyway, look, forget it for the moment. I don't think this is the right time to bring this up.
Well, that's the problem with this place. There's never a right time for anything I'm interested in, is there?
Gosh, you two look glum. What's the problem?
Usual thing, darling. Polly and I are talking.
Oh, dear. I think I've had enough problems for one day, if you don't mind.
Still hurt as much?
I seem to have been on it all day. What I really fancy is a quiet drink and bed.
Well, the drink we can fix, but I'm afraid we have a visitor.
Oh, no. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Car will be back at 10:15. There's a division.
Must you?
Don't be silly, darling.
I'll go. That's probably him.
Oh, no, not that ghastly man. That's all I need.
I don't think Call Me Gerald's on her list tonight, darling. More like Henry.
Thanks. Your brother? What on earth does he want at this time of the evening?
Oh, my God.
Oh, Polly, my dear. What a beautiful princess.
He's had an accident.
What are you talking about?
Leave the door. The cabbie's bringing my bag.
Bag? Mary, what's going on?
Just a minute. Nothing's going on, as you call it. Look, I'm sorry. I haven't had a chance to tell you. You'd left when I phoned. Apparently, his ceiling fell in. Look like that. It's perfectly true.
You've gone mad.
No, but I thought you might. Henry's bedroom ceiling fell in. Henry was in bed at the time, and apparently was rather nastily cut.
What, stitches and things?
Bad enough for hospital. X-rays and jabs and things. Anyway, when I spoke to him, he was about to put up at his club. I said he had to come here.
I see.
Good. Oh, dear.
My godfather, James. Henry, what on earth have you been doing?
My dears, you cannot begin to imagine the unspeakable horror. There was absolutely no warning. An almighty crash sounds so much more gruesome in the dark, you know.
If you don't mind me saying so, your face looks ghastly with all that bandaging. Surely you should be in hospital.
I mind not in the least, but surely I should not. They succeeded in breaking my nerve.
They'd shown in the menu, but you can't order quail's eggs and St. Thomas's, can you?
Well, I'm sure you were in good hands, even if it was only one night.
They do things with foul-tasting thermometers. They have perfected the most embarrassing ways of washing one beneath the bedclothes.
No.
I could walk, dear heart. I did so.
You poor old thing. Your head bandage and my stick will probably get us front row seats at the next cenotaph.
Come on, Polly. I'm exhausted by senses of sympathy. Let's get supper. Boiled fish and milk pudding, be all right?
Let's not forget the stewed thermometers.
I must say, the sight of the Chief Whip huddling behind a limp suggests trying times in the People's Palace of Democracies.
Sympathy voting has never caught the parliamentary imagination. You know, in a strange sort of way, my tumble was fortuitous. Well, perhaps.
There's always an element of perhaps in fortune.
Old Cameron.
A whiskey?
Oh, seriously. What you didn't know was that I'd arranged to see him for tea after Ditchley on Sunday. If I hadn't done this, well, I would have.
Injudicious. Tea with a traitor is not an essential event in the day of a cabinet minister, even if he was your tutor at Oxford.
He's hardly in the big league.
To my mind, dear boy, and I seem to remember yours, treachery has no degree.
Anyway, I thought I might mention it.
Tell me, when did you decide to make your visit of nostalgia?
When I saw I was down for the Ditchley conference, seemed a good idea to stop over.
How was this? Good idea communicated? Letter? The telephone system?
No, through Jules. Juliet Cameron, his daughter, you know.
Yeah, of course. Of course. How foolish of me.
What was?
To forget. After all things, if it had been telephone or the Royal Mail Service, I might have been expected to know the answer.
Just didn't look right hanging there. Too big. Arthur six for it to go over to number 12. He says it's all handy for your next job.
Number 10. There may be a connecting door between us and that place, but I hardly think they're open for us, Rose. Not even sure I'd want them to.
Don't blame you. Arthur would, but he fancies a nice little number over there. Anyway, I'm off. There's a fresh bottle of Glenmorangie on the tray. Truth, news does travel fast. Night.
Ah, there you are, Charles. See you tomorrow. Still so, Dougal, as ever. Whiskey, I take it your appearance means it's in order.
Let me. A Glenmorangie. Only the best and only right. The hospitality tray has its value at this time of night.
We pay for our whiskey in here, Dougal. All of it.
Quite right, too. I've been thinking of having a similar rule in my own department.
Naturally. Thank you. Cheerio.
Cheers.
Well?
It worked. It took a little thinking through, but it worked. We have turned, or we're about to turn, this whole business to our advantage.
By that you mean your advantage?
Of course.
And?
And in some small way, Charles, I have you to thank.
I am overwhelmed.
Guess who gave Gerald the information about Weston?
Go on. Tell me. Who?
Kay. Kay Bennett.
Kay Bennett? You
remember when we had that little bother last year?
And you threatened to give her little black book of boyfriends to the gossip columns?
She was threatening to tell Rose about us.
Dougal, do we have to go through this?
Not at all, I'm just telling you. You remember she was working at the Centre for Policy Analysis, or whatever they call themselves?
Something to do with law and order, wasn't it?
Well, she and this Marcel Weston chappie got to know each other.
I really think I do see.
We keep in touch, you know.
Yes.
So when Gerald came back, it was obvious. I mean, it was his idea, but it needed my,
guiding hand?
And if Number 10 can hire an outside advisor, why shouldn't I?
Miss Bennett is joining your department.
On a temporary basis, of course.
To give you and your staff advice on something on which you are supposed to be an expert?
Officially, yes, but not really.
Dougal, for the umpteenth time, is this wise?
You see, she and Weston still see each other. There's nothing in it, of course. She's been working in Brussels, you know.
So handy for your cottage in France.
Oh, you know, do you?
This sounds very, very risky to me. Is there anything else?
Well, of course. This is where you come in.
Ah, wait a minute.
Don't worry, it's what you said. Weston's got the hots for Kay. He tells her almost everything he's doing, tries to impress. She'll tell me.
This was your idea, and she's going along with it?
Of course.
My godfather, James, there are some things I really prefer not to know. I'm afraid it's all too cynical for me.
Not cynical, Charles. It's just as you said. The army call it leadership, we call it politics.
Not mine, not mine. It's late. I must be off. Help yourself.
Gerald will be along in a moment, so I will if you don't mind.
You can talk freely. The room's not bugged.
Oh, by the way, Charles, I'm glad to see you moved that picture of your father. Strange eyes, staring straight at you. Most off-putting, you know. Night.
In that episode of The House, you heard Julian Glover as Charles Bannister, Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter, Isla Blair as Mary Bannister, Christopher Benjamin as Henry Colvil, Siobhan Redmond as Juliet Cameron, David Ryle as Dennis Wigton, Sheila Reid as Rose, James Garbett as Arthur, Ruth Gemmell as Polly Bannister, and Terence Edmond as the Speaker. The House was written by Christopher Lee and produced by Neil Cargill. The House by Christopher Lee, starring Julian Glover as Charles Bannister and Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter.
Weekends like this are brilliant. Fresh air and Mummy's cooking. You know, she's much better at it down here than in London.
When I first knew your mother, she was convinced that only farmers lived in the country during the week.
I thought Granny was very country life.
Oh, they never read beyond the engagement photographs.
Worcester! Worcester, come on! Come on! Look at him, he's loving it. It's okay for a couple of days, but I couldn't handle it all the time.
That's what she used to say. But now she's more at home down here than in Marsham Street.
At least there's space. The flat's like a glass box. When I need the loo, everyone knows. Good boy. I want my own place. Don't we, Worcester?
Really?
That's all they say. They're really mean.
Well, you're not getting me involved.
I'm not trying to. I just want to be on my own. And I don't want to get like her. A weekend here is a big deal.
Your mother gets on with the locals. She has the right temperament.
Oh, it's pathetic. She's learned all their names and what's wrong with them. Does all the yes, Vicar, and how's your back? She loves it. They make me puke, the lot of them.
There are certain obligations.
Well, you don't like all that stuff, do you?
Oh, certainly not. I spend as little time in the constituency as possible. I agree with you. Just because I'm their MP doesn't mean that I have to eat their dreadful sponge cakes.
Does Ros like it?
When we first married, no. But she started to.
Indoctrination?
We both felt happier on sporting estates than housing estates. Ros has done well. I'm told she's a good barrister. Naturally, she had to recognise that mine was the more significant career.
Which is why you didn't have children.
Which was why a lot of things, young lady.
Mummy's lovely. Down here she really likes all the cooking and jam making. And she's really quite good at it. It's really amazing.
Of course. Women are immensely suited to big kitchens and sensible shoes. It's a natural environment for them.
Oh, no. Worst kill.
Oh, yeah.
You really are a worm, aren't you? Do you remember the last time we walked across here?
Christmas morning, and you deliberately left the gate open because it would annoy your father.
And you did exactly the same then. Tried to wind me up. You're really prattish.
A prat and a worm.
Well, for someone who doesn't think much of women, but manages to have a wife and a mistress, that's about right.
Is that so?
I'm not knocking it. You can handle it, then that's your lookout.
Well, what is it that I'm supposed to handle, as you call it?
Well, all this thing about Kay Bennett and giving her a job.
Oh, you know Miss Bennett, do you?
Of course I don't. But she was the one you poked off to see on Christmas Day, wasn't she?
Was she?
Oh, never mind, forget it. Nothing to do with me.
That had been my impression. However, you seem remarkably informed. I hadn't imagined that your father discussed private arrangements.
Daddy! You're joking. Pass the butter and know is about all I get out of him.
Just as well. So, who told you about Miss Bennett?
Henry, pour the sherry, will you? It's in the fridge.
How Antipodean we've become. In decanters in the sitting room, but in the kitchen, rigidly to attention alongside bottles of gold-topped cholesterol.
It's the decent stuff. Keep Cyprus in the decanter for the constituency.
Crystal for the party workers, how clever.
Most of them wouldn't know the difference if they were served distilled bats dropping. Anyway, it's free, what do they care?
Refreshingly cynical, dear sister. I don't know why, but I imagined you rather liked them.
No way.
Here we are. Good health.
Thanks. Cheers. If people want to vote for Charles, jolly good, let them. But most of the party faithful are just hangers-on.
But without the workers, there would be no hive. My goodness, have I been so naive for so long?
No, you're right. It's me, not them. I suppose I resent doing something because I have to. I'm hardly the ideal MP's wife.
Oh, you are.
That makes it worse. Hi.
What's worse? Oh, I see. At it already, are we?
Nothing, darling. Yours is on the dresser. Do sit down. That knee of yours isn't going to get any better with you jumping around.
Great. They're just coming. Oh, that's better. Dougal's having a word with his minder, and I suspect Polly's trying to get his telephone number.
I'd have thought she'd had enough of Call Me Gerald and her
Am I missing something exciting?
It's Mary's name for Gerald Mossman, Dougal's PPS. She thinks he's a creep.
An understatement.
And Polly's?
They're friends. I wish they weren't.
Yes, well...
Hi. Good walk, you two.
Starving. When's lunch?
Yes, thank you, Mummy. It was A, jolly nice, or B, quite dreadful. Delete whichever does not apply, and thank you very much for asking.
Sorry.
That's better. Very pleasant, thank you. Well, not something I normally do before...
So you're starving too? Half an hour. It's pig. The beef looked awful, and I really can't be bothered with Yorkshire pudding. Is that all right?
Remind me not to hire you as my head of character assessment team.
Worms don't have them anyway.
Ooh.
You two normally talk in code?
Well, I was telling Dougal how much you loved them all here.
Oh, they give me the creeps, especially that lot last night.
Well, they were rather jolly at dinner.
Obsequiously so.
Who's this?
Here you are. Don't spill it. The Pratts from the constituency. They wouldn't go home.
Thank you. No worms, only Pratts.
Honours list. Next week's final recommendations. In a not very subtle way, they're reminding me how to spell their names. You have the same thing, don't you?
Of course. But then I'm as subtle as they are. I make it clear I want to know what they're doing for me before I do for them.
That's disgusting.
Certainly, but it saves a lot of misunderstanding.
Cynicism is rarely far beneath the medal tray. Was that not the reason why everyone's father knew Lloyd George?
But they know it's cut and dried. So why all the heavy hinting last night?
It's important to them. They know it's the Treasurer's turn for a CBE.
Then he'll get it.
Absolutely. Then the year after next, there'll be something for the chairman.
Bubonic plague would be quite appropriate.
It's the only recognition they get, so why not?
It's corrupt. If they really believe in the party, they shouldn't want paying off with cheap gin and enamel brooches.
It probably costs us all a bomb just to make them feel happy.
Actually, it costs nothing at all. We make a profit.
Are not medals like lunches?
No such thing as a free one. Yes, of course. But I was talking in purely financial terms. Take your constituency treasurer and his grubby little CBE. How much is it? £200? 220?
Multiply that by goodness knows how many, twice a year, and it soon comes to thousands.
But think the whole process through, Charles. Your treasurer gets his letter. Immediately he's expected to give a couple of big parties and probably a formal dinner somewhere.
The last one gave 4. Go on.
Married?
2 daughters.
Even better. Then comes the palace. That'll mean 3 new frocks. Then if he hasn't got it, morning suit hire. A hotel in town for him, his wife and 2 daughters for the night before the palace. That's a minimum of 130 each.
Then there's shopping for the women because he's in a good mood, and more than likely dinner for at least the 4 of them and close relatives at somewhere smart in London.
Right.
My godfather James. Dinner alone will set him back at the very least £60 a head.
A CBE for the standard social climbing county party treasurer will cost him a minimum of £2,000.
So how do you make money out of it?
We collect 17.5% VAT. It's easy.
You're across here early, Charlie.
Oh, hello, Mervyn.
Got some business then, or nothing to do?
Good weekend?
Oh, usual grind. Surgery on Saturday morning. Bloody council by-election speeches in the afternoon. Constituency supper, then chin-wagging all Sunday. Glad to get back, I was.
Remind me not to ask in future. Have we, got any problems?
We haven't, Charlie, but I couldn't speak for your people, could I then? Seem to remember you normally hide yourself over at number 12 till after lunch. Got the elbow then, have we?
I sometimes wish that were true, Murphin. There are moments when I long for a snooze on the back benches.
Oh, don't worry. From what the polls tell us, it's coming your way. Yeah, but you're right. It's not the best job in the House. Never has been.
If the vote goes the right way, then everyone expected it to. If it doesn't, they still expected it.
This is true, Charlie. We shoot ourselves in the foot. Cabinets shoot us in the back. Old story, boy. Makes me weep to hear you tell it.
Save your tears, you old rascal. I'll survive, and we'll go the full term. Be a struggle, but we will.
No, you won't. But keep telling them, Charlie. That's your job, isn't it? Talking of jobs, I hear the Home Secretary's got himself a new talent.
Gerald Mossman? A couple of weeks ago, Murphin. You're behind the news, slipping.
I was thinking about the floozy. K something, isn't it?
Were you indeed?
Indeed I was. Giving her one, is he, Charlie?
I beg your pardon?
Mossman. Got a bit of a reputation in that quarter, so I hear. Just wondered.
Murphin, you should know that there are times when I find your Celtic folksiness a little trying.
Oh, don't take offence. None was intended. Just odd that Mossman gets a job with Baxter. Next thing, she's got her pretty knees under the desk. Just odd, that's all.
Fine. If I hear any more... yes. It'll keep until I see the PM. Shan't be a moment. What? Prayers tomorrow morning. Bye. Hell's teeth give me strength, Dougal. How is it that every member has a special reason, a totally exceptional case for putting up a friend, a acquaintance, business associate, departmental servant, almost anyone you can name for the honours list? Sorry. Sit down. How are you?
Fine. Your knee? See, the stick's gone.
More trouble than it was worth. Kept tripping over it.
Of course. Well...
Something in particular?
Well, no, not really. Just dropped by to say thanks for yesterday. I've written to Mary, of course.
There was no need.
No, but there you are.
Dougal, you're sure there wasn't something on your mind?
I'm certain.
Good.
By the way, Charles, I've been making a few inquiries, unofficially, of course.
About what?
Well, actually, I've been wondering who we might be thinking of giving knighthoods to this time.
We?
It's not uncommon for one or two of our more senior backbencher colleagues to be recognised.
May I ask what sort of inquiries you've made? I'd have thought it rather indiscreet of you.
Of course. I was hoping to be, as you put it, discreet.
Indiscretion has never inhibited your parliamentary ambitions, Dougal.
You disappoint me, Charles. I have good reason for asking.
I'm certain your disappointment will be short-lived. Then in no time at all you can get back to practising your own peculiar brand of intrigue.
My brand? Now you flatter me. You know as well as I do, nothing in this place is straightforward.
And if I may say so, your choice of PPS is testament to that.
Well, let me tell you, since Gerald joined my office, I've had a better feel for what people are thinking. Just as you used to. He talks to people. And he doesn't keep it to himself. I know what's going on.
He's far too pushy, I'm told. Is that to your advantage?
He's forceful, yes. I'll grant you that. But he keeps his ear to the ground, which is what a good PPS is supposed to do. And he's not frightened of ideas.
Like Miss Bennet?
Oh, purely fortuitous. If the Prime Minister happens to pick an advisor who happens to be a good friend of someone I know, then, well, I'd be a fool not to take advantage of it. You'd have done the same thing. Don't moralize me, Charles. Not on this of all offices.
Well, the return of Miss Bennet. And already hard at work in the committee rooms, I see.
You have a habit of haunting this part of the palace, Mr. Bannister. I seem to remember it was exactly here we last met.
The committee corridor is one of my battlements. After all, I do have a legitimate interest in its workings.
Meaning I don't?
No, meaning I do. Look, I must say I was rather surprised when Dougal told me you were joining his office. Truthfully, I can't pretend that I approved, but then it's...
None of your business? Is that what you were about to say?
Not at all. It is very much my business. I was about to say that it's now fait accompli and that I wish you well.
And you were loitering just to tell me that.
You flatter yourself, Kay. I have other things to do. In fact, I didn't even know you were in the house, and cared even less. Actually, I was looking at this old portrait of Beatty. He always wore his cap at an angle. Admirals are allowed to do that.
How fascinating.
When you're in a senior position, you can get away with quite a lot that you can't when you're younger.
Are you trying to tell me something? Or does the government chief whip really have nothing better to do?
When Beatty was only a captain, he appointed a very clever and very junior officer as an ADC.
Oh, my God.
The appointment went to the ADC's head, and he upset the Chief of Staff's office. The Chief of Staff had the young man sacked.
It was his privilege, I suppose?
Beatty didn't lift a finger to protect him. He was very ambitious.
Oh, is this the start of a queue? I wouldn't have thought the Home Affairs Committee was that interesting, eh?
No one's queuing. In fact, the chief whip was giving a matinee performance.
We've just had an hour of that. Weston's giving evidence to the Home Affairs Committee in there. By God, he's sharp.
And the committee isn't.
You're so right. Mind you, Juliet Cameron knows her stuff. She was really giving him a hard time.
I see.
I think she knows him as well.
As well as what?
As well as giving him a hard time. What else did you think?
Keep tabs on the old opposition, eh? Got a bit of competition there, sweetie. But mind you, with your looks, no contest, or so I'd have thought.
That's something you do often. I must say, there's little evidence.
Ooh, Very touchy. Don't know what to make of her. Mind you. Well, never mind, as they say.
Perhaps we should not. Tell me, Gerald, I hear you're interested in knighthoods.
Not personally. A bit early for that. Seriously, though, yes, I am. Naturally, I wouldn't expect any of the inside info. Not unless you thought it worth your while.
I take it there's an exceptional reason for your treading the grounds of confidentiality.
Right. Between you and I, it's a bit of a scheme I came up with, and the Home Secretary rather cared for. Unofficially, of course.
I see. Oh, of course.
Idea's pretty simple. Find out who's about to get a "you can call me sir" letter, then drop a mega hint that you, rather Dougal, was the one who put his name forward. The guy then owes you a favour, or thinks he does.
Does he now?
Knighthoods only go to senior backbenchers, ergo or whatever, so you're buying in some pretty high-powered support, eh?
And Dougal approved this idea?
Absolutely. Fact is, it's so simple, I really don't understand why no one's come up with it before, eh?
Don't you? That would explain a considerable number of things.
Well, where is he now? Someone must know.
According to Hawkins, he's due back at 9:30, but he doesn't know where he's gone.
What exactly did that Cameron woman say?
She didn't exactly say anything, but the message was loud and clear, eh? Apparently, there's quite a few of them who want to get back to the old system.
I don't know. That little baggage is too clever by half. You're sure about this?
I don't know her brilliantly, but I think she, well, gets on with me. Bit of the old charm works wonders, eh? I reckon we're getting a signal.
But why now?
A lot of them well browned off ever since the old days. Handing out a few MBEs is an easy way of paying off debts. Nothing else to offer them, have they? Especially in opposition. Are you receiving me?
There's a private dinner party at his flat. He'll be back later.
You're sure?
His messenger told me he knows everything.
Hawkins, he told me he didn't know where he was.
He would. Why don't you simply telephone him? It's not a big deal, surely.
Well, that would instill a sense of urgency into the matter, which is better avoided. If they're lots interested in getting back into the honours game, there are some advantages in being the messenger of these tidings.
Then call him.
You'll soon learn, sweetie. It's a matter of tactics, eh? If the Chief Whip already knows this, then he's not impressed. We look second-rate.
Not all of us.
If he knows and is keeping it to himself, perhaps it's because he's negotiating. Then he won't thank us for letting the cat out of the bag, eh?
I thought we were all supposed to be on the same side. Or at least you were.
I think perhaps a casual suggestion later this evening that the time might be right to approach that little Welsh turd Edwards.
If he's done so, we're up with the game. If he hasn't, we're ahead. Got it, sweetie?
I still don't see the point. And why Mervyn Edwards?
He's opposition chief whip. He can negotiate. If Gerald's right, they're either playing a game or they're about to dump another of their high and mighty principles. Whichever way, Charles ought to know.
And wouldn't it be a good idea for us to be the people to tell him?
What happens if you're wrong and she's setting you up?
I think I got the measure of her. She's got those sort of eyes. In fact, if you excuse me, I think I'll give her a bit of the old chat. See if she knows any more. Eh? See ya.
Oh, he is remarkable. I shall hit him. I really will.
No, you won't. Come here. Tell me, you think that Cameron slut is being clever, do you?
Dougal, please. Now listen, will you? Think about it. It is possible. Miss Tartan Draws is not completely stupid. And if he tries that sweetie business with her, well, it's just the sort of thing she might set him up for.
Possibly. Let me see. Perhaps Gerald ought to be the one to mention it to Charles.
You could explain it with a little more subtlety, surely.
Of course. But if she's setting him up, why should I be the one to upset the chief whip? What do you think?
I think Mr. Bannister was right. You'd have made a good admiral.
I'm minded of the rather confident young pilot officer during the war who corrected the monarch as he was getting his gong.
Henry, more pudding.
Mummy.
I've heard it. What about you, Charles?
No thanks, darling. Go on, old man. Don't take any notice.
Yeah. The king was congratulating him on bringing down a Messerschmitt, who was about to pin on the DFC, when Flying Officer Kite pipes up.
Was that really his name?
Oh, the young. When Flying Officer Kite pipes up, "Actually, Your Majesty, I killed 2 jolly old Messerschmitts, not 1, as it happens." Silence. The king looks hard at him and says,
Well, as it happens, you're only getting 1 jolly old medal.
You got one, didn't you? What did the Queen say?
"Oh, truly, my dear, I'm not sure. The hand is taken, and when she has spoken, there is the most imperceptible regal pressure, not a squeeze, nor a gentle push.
Not all?
And one finds oneself outside clutching one's gaudy bauble and being stared at through the railings by Japanese and the middle classes."
I think it sounds fun. Can we go when you get something, Daddy?
That's hardly likely.
Oh, why not? They gave one to that man with the wet lips and watery eyes who used to come here. You know, the one who knew all about royal pictures.
Yes, well...
And we took it away from him as well.
Anyway, I would have thought your generation was against medals and honours.
Oh, they're nice. Especially the ribbons. Some of them are really pretty.
You make them sound like bits of dreadful jewellery.
How uncharacteristically shrewd of you, Charles. That's exactly what they are.
All part of the fun, dear boy, mere baubles. Something to cherish but not take too seriously. Rather like one's MCC tie.
This is all too cynical for me. A few moments ago, you were all agreeing with me that Dougal was exploiting the system and that he was wrong.
We didn't.
Of course you did.
Of course we didn't.
We agreed that he was exploiting the system, but that's because he's Dougal, and Dougal exploits every system. It's the same with the mysterious Miss Bennet. He's exploiting her, but he certainly doesn't think it's wrong.
Well, she can handle it. If she can't, that's her problem.
My goodness. Isn't there honour among feminists?
Polly's right.
I don't believe it.
No, you are. From what I hear, Kay Bennet can look after herself. She now has Dougal where she wants him.
But what about the ambitious Mr. Mossman? Is that not his role?
Oh, absolutely. Gerald Mossman may be Dougal's idea of a good PPS, but Dougal's his ticket to the ministerial enclosure. If he wants to stay in that race, he won't tolerate Kay Bennet getting in the way.
Oh, why should she? She's nothing to do with
Call me
Gerald.
Gerald?
Mummy, I wish you wouldn't.
We are sensitive, aren't we?
I don't talk about your friends like that.
I hardly think it's appropriate.
Well, hardly think it's appropriate. What sort of ministerial answer's that? You're going on about honour and decency. Well, it's okay if it's your honour and decency, right?
I don't quite see what this has to do with Gerald Mossman.
He's my friend. You don't like that for some reason? Okay, fine. But I really get poked off when she tries all that clever stuff about call me Gerald. He's just nice. But going by your friends, you wouldn't know about that.
Very few of my friends give my daughter lunch and dinner and goodness knows what else, and then as soon as her back's turned, chat me up as if I were the next available in line.
Oh, don't kid yourself. Not at your age.
Oh.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Oh dear, as much as you wish, Henry, but this is the other Polly. Your niece has become one of life's tantrums and door slammers.
She tells me she's looking for a flat.
More accurately, she's looking for us to finance one.
If I have much more of this, I'll be very tempted to do so, and the further away, the better.
You see, Charlie, there are some things we can discuss and some we can't. This we can't.
Informally?
No such thing, you see.
Personally?
What's the difference, then?
Well, speaking personally, I happen to be in favour of the honour system.
But you people invented it, Charlie. Christians and Christmas, nearly the same thing.
I wouldn't put the British honours system on nearly such a grand pedestal. But be fair, Murphy, you went along with it until the 60s.
Well, a quarter of a century ago, that. Things are different. Oh, haven't you caught on?
In heraldic and chivalrous terms, a quarter of a century is nothing. And I seem to remember that not everyone said no at the time.
Mostly those who were about to get something in the tins, eh? A nice little billy-do from the palace and a bit of something to wear at flashy dinners. Didn't like it when we put the lid on. Well, I can't say I blamed them.
So, and this is nothing more than a personal thought, I would be wrong if I thought your people might be thinking of coming in from the cold.
You would you?
You're not against honours.
Can be good for morale.
Very cheap.
Can be bad.
When some are not recognised.
And some are. OBE, yes. Other buggers' efforts.
And occasionally a knighthood for a worthy alderman, a generous thank you that money cannot buy.
Not always, Charlie.
Life peerages are not exactly taboo, are they?
You telling or you asking? Life peerages, well, that's tactical. Yes, tactical. Tell me, Charlie, what made you think we were going soft?
Oh, I wouldn't call it soft, simply, tactical, as you said. I heard a rumour that you were perhaps rethinking policy.
No, rumour, was it? And when did Charlie Bannister take notice of rumours? In the old days, you was the one who started rumours.
The rumour's wrong, is it?
Slipping, boy. That's what you are. Slipping.
I hardly think the lobby is the place to discuss this, Charles. Once again, your timing's all to blazes.
What I have to say won't take a moment. Your PPS put me in a very embarrassing situation. I was made to look foolish. I will not have it.
Of course.
He is your PPS. I expect you to keep him in check.
Of course.
He's been running around like some third-rate private detective. It must cease.
Running around is part of his or any other PPS's task. I seem to remember us both doing it.
You know what I mean, Dougal. It is not on. If I hadn't checked what he said, I could easily have been tempted to bring it up with the Prime Minister at this morning's prayers.
That would have been unwise, would it not? But you weren't and you didn't. I really don't see why you're so upset.
I'm upset because against my better judgment and because of our friendship, I allowed myself to listen to him in the first place.
If he'd been right, and we're not entirely sure he wasn't, if he'd been right, then you'd have been telling me what a splendid chap he was.
He wasn't. In future, he must behave as other PPSs.
Unfortunately, Charles, I knew nothing of this.
You didn't?
Of course not. I'd have hardly allowed him to come to you with such a doubtful yarn without making my own inquiries.
That makes it worse.
I'll speak to him. I trust you have already.
Certainly not. I have told you. In future, he keeps his distance. This has been made clear to him by one of the juniors.
You know, Charles, this isn't the normal way of doing things. We don't do things this way.
From now onwards, Dougal, we do. And another thing. If I hear that he's sniffing around the honours list, there'll be further trouble.
Oh, that's all settled.
I'm glad to hear it.
It was simple. I just congratulated the 4 most likely candidates, and one of them thanked me and said he thought it was supposed to be confidential.
My godfather, James.
Which only convinced him that I must have had a say in his.
And which blithering idiot was this?
So, there's more than one.
Come on, who was it?
Charles, it's privileged information. You must know that I couldn't possibly tell you.
In that episode of The House, you heard Julian Glover as Charles Bannister, Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter, Isla Blair as Mary Bannister, Christopher Benjamin as Henry Colvil, Jane Booker as Kay, David Neville as Gerald, Douglas Blackwell as Murfin, and Ruth Gemmell as Polly Bannister. The House was written by Christopher Lee and produced by Neil Cargill. The House by Christopher Lee, starring Julian Glover as Charles Bannister and Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter.
Followed by, on the stand side, Minstrella, and a very bad run by Mies. She's really boxed in and she can't.
I haven't even mentioned Tricky Monsoon. Perhaps he's pulled up.
Hardly going like the wind, was he?
Perhaps I should have called him Drizzle.
Ah, there you are, Charles. Glued to it, I see.
Yes, you do, old man. Another fiver down the drain.
You're not betting on the GGs, are you?
The owner's a friend. A loyalty bet, you could call it.
£5 for loyalty, eh? Sounds cheap. You'll have to let me know how it's done. I'd have thought you'd be watching the rest of the news about that brother of yours. Caused quite a stir, he has.
I'm off, then. You don't need me, do you?
No, thanks, Rose. Just hide my wallet next time George calls with a hot tip.
I did. No.
Did what?
Hide your wallet. Oh, hate to spoil your misery, Mr. Bannister, but I didn't back it for you.
You sure?
Me and Hawkins had a look at his form. No chance in that field. Anyway, the going was too firm. Surprised they ran him. Night.
Right.
Night, Mr. Baxter.
I bet he was furious. Just imagine him bumbling around wanting to gossip, wondering how he could turn it to his advantage. Marvellous, I wish I'd been there.
Yeah, poor old Dougal. He simply has no sense of humour.
No sense of humour doubles the frustration.
Especially as all he really wanted to discuss was this nonsense about Rex.
Is it nonsense? Oh, how disappointing, dear heart. An Archbishop of York in the family would be, well, somewhat reassuring.
According to the news, he's the compromise candidate. Didn't sound like nonsense.
But he hasn't been a bishop 5 minutes. Surely not. Did they have him on? Did he say anything?
Of course he didn't. You know your brother. They showed him at the cathedral, but I think the pictures were taken last Easter.
Oh, it's just a rumour.
Well, if it is, then it's rather strong. It'd be rather splendid sport. Yes, dear boy, you must encourage him. Then you could swap jobs every 6 months. I'm sure the temporal and spiritual benefits to us all would be enormous.
I hardly think it'll get that far.
Anyway...
Don't! You make me do it.
Bed. Where's that damn dog?
Worcester's where he always is until Polly gets home, on her bed.
At this time of night? Where the blazes is she?
I haven't a clue. When I ask her, she reminds me she's 20.
Meaning?
Meaning, Charles, she is 20. Especially when she's in one of her moods.
She's going through a phase. Shouldn't worry. Sign these. I'll bring the rest over to the house this afternoon.
She's been going through a phase since she was 13. Now she wants a flat.
Could do a bit of good. A flat'll soon teach her to look after things and how much they cost.
Wish I had your faith in her.
Ah, Charles.
Ah, Dougal. Come in.
Yes, of course. Just a quick word.
I'm going over to the Commons. Anything you need?
Won't be a moment, Dougal. No, thanks. Oh, tell them I'll be dining in, will you?
Don't forget the Terrace Club reception's at 5, not 6 as they said.
Oh.
Don't look so worried. I'll remind you this afternoon.
That woman's very familiar, you know, Charles. You don't think a lack of respect?
Don't start that again, old man.
What sort of cabinet was that? The PM was in a funny mood, or am I imagining things?
It was certainly a dry session.
Arid's more like it. And you see the stare I got when I tried to liven it up?
It didn't help, Dougal. I wasn't much impressed myself.
But it's not every day we get the brother of someone in cabinet getting short odds as an archbishop.
Telling our bombardier that Rex should be appointed cabinet chaplain, then we'd have the church where we wanted it, was not exactly tactful.
It was a joke.
It wasn't. May have started out that way, but it wasn't.
Oh. Has the Prime Minister mentioned the matter to you? The papers are full of it.
Well, I wouldn't say full of it. Actually, yes, at prayers this morning. But it was simply a passing comment, small talk.
The bombardier gave up small talk a week after getting elected, in case a decision slipped out.
Come, Dougal, too cynical.
I really think this whole appointment business is far more important than you imagine. In fact, I've been giving it some thought.
Oh, dear. Is that wise?
Don't be clever, Charles. Look, I got my PPS to dig out some of Rex's speeches.
Sermons, surely.
But to my mind, the sort of things he's been saying lately are speeches. And Gerald agrees.
I thought Mossman was your PPS, not your religious advisor. I'm surprised you haven't put Kay Bennett onto it.
I have. In fact, that's what I was going to tell you. I'm getting them to put together a speech for me. Something which will reflect your brother's views.
I would have thought Canterbury was unlikely at this stage of your career.
You see, Charles, I think the bombardier's listening to what your brother's churning out. Christianity seems to be his message.
How reassuring.
Your brother's made it clear that he stands for the church tending the flock and not our business.
Since when has it been the job of the Home Secretary to take an interest in church appointments, never mind that of an archbishop?
As you will understand, Charles, my views on morality beginning at home are becoming well known, and I might say accepted by many, including, it seems, your brother.
In spite of your natural humility, Dougal, I imagine his reference to morality comes from an older source and a somewhat deeper conviction than yours.
The sentiment is the same. If he's expressing it in a manner to attract the PM, then there's no harm in a speech which emphasises my understanding of the subject.
You mean it'll impress the Prime Minister?
Of course.
Do you really need to? I would have thought your job is to establish cause and effect and then do something about it, not to preach a gospel which everyone accepts anyway.
Oh, Charles. If your brother is on the shortlist and I happen to preach the same gospel, then it can only do me good.
And if he doesn't run at York, as the bookies would say?
Exactly. We have to be sure that he's declared.
Rex is the only person who really knows his own feelings, so how do you expect to find out?
Me? I don't. He's your brother, not mine.
Aye. Do you not think it's dangerous to be wandering about by yourself in daylight?
Hello, you. Sorry, I was miles away.
And the rest. I thought you were about to walk into the road.
I think I understand why people do it.
Oh, Chang. What's the matter?
Nothing. Tired, that's all. Never mind. The walk will do me good.
Are you having a hard time again?
Oh, it's lots of odds and ends, you know.
Polly, still?
Yes, I suppose so. But it's other things. All this nonsense about my brother. Seems everyone has an interest.
I haven't.
sorry. Generalising, that's all. Listen, what are you doing?
Now, going to Chatham House for a lecture. Why?
How about lunch? Come on. Taxi!
Chang, you are forgetting the rules. The government chief whip does not take lunch with opposition backbenchers. Sorry.
Sod the rules. Villiers Street, please. Gordon's wine cellar. Come on, in you get. You can tell them you were kidnapped.
We really should have a look at these answers now. We're top for questions tomorrow.
Well, you're the PPS. Make sure the brief is packed. I don't want any nasties back. That's your job. Go on, man. Now, Kay, read that last paragraph again.
Is it not
All right.
time that...
I'll ship in a couple of "I hope to be making a statement shortly." That'll hold them.
Are we doing this or not?
Of course. Go on.
Pacey, pacey.
Is it not time that the Church examined once again the values within the Book of Common Prayer? The language of liturgical drama should not be underestimated as a guiding light towards a responsible society in which all...
No. It sounds like a prayer book society tract. How about
something along the lines of, if we keep the traditional language, we shan't be far off traditional values. What do you think of that, sweetie? Eh?
Not much. I thought this was supposed to be a well-argued speech, not a press handout.
There's no point in a speech unless it gets printed.
Oh, this is ridiculous. I think we're way out of our depth. All these sermons are totally bland. You can't expect to turn them into policy speeches. Anyway, we don't even know if he's likely to be Archbishop.
Oh, he's a runner, all right.
Straight from the horses, this one, sweetie. Don't you worry about the policy. You just put the words together, eh?
Gerald, make sure the private office has the supplementaries tied up, and then warn central office this is coming.
I cleared it with them this morning, before I suggested it to you.
Yes, of course. But take a stroll round there. Tell them I want it cleared by 6. The personal touch. I want it out to the Press Association in time for the morning papers.
Right. Better have a word with the press office first. But okay. Be back soon. Keep it easy on the ear. All right, sweetie?
I shall scream. I really will.
Okay, come on. Steady. I'll have a quiet word with him. Don't you worry.
I thought you said this speech was your idea.
Well, after a fashion it was. He talked it through.
He talked it through, you mean?
Well, let's say I planted the idea and he came up with it. That's his job. Does it matter? Now, where were we?
Yes, it does matter. This really is a bummer of an idea. If this man doesn't get the archbishopric, or whatever they call it, you're going to be the person who backed the wrong horse.
What you don't realise, my dear...
I am not your dear.
But you are. That's why I tell you these things. Now, what you don't realise is that I'm backing this one both ways. Charles's brother is saying all the right things. We can't lose.
I didn't say that. What I am saying
Just wait a
is
minute. He's talking about old-fashioned values. So is the Prime Minister. Then so am I.
What values?
I've told you. It's all there. Honesty, integrity, loyalty, faith.
Faithfulness? Where does that leave us, then?
Oh, you're being far too sensitive, my dear. We're different. We're sophisticated. We can cope with these arrangements. I'm talking about people who cannot...
Be trusted to?
Certainly. Now, come on. We've got to finish this by 4 at the latest.
Okay. What else do you want to say?
Something about the lessons for us all in the words of the hymns. Especially children's hymns. The innocence of children singing. Ah, I like that.
Hey, steady, Chang. This is lunch, not an end-of-term binge.
Wish it were.
I hadn't realised he was your twin. You don't much look alike.
We do when we're together.
Which is often?
Not really. He's in the north, and that's it. When he comes to London, it's usually to go back again, as he puts it. We're both far too busy.
Is that Polly's problem? You're too busy?
You know, Jules, I really don't know. I wish I did. We try to be around at weekends, but, well, she prefers to stay in London. The constituency can be pretty boring. Yes?
No, thanks. Do you talk very much? I mean, really talk?
I think so. Mind you, lately the words have been getting shorter and shorter.
That's what I meant. So why does she want a flat?
Independence, I suppose.
From what?
Wish I knew.
What will you do?
I wish I knew that as well.
You sound like Pop. His ostrich complex dated from the day he discovered that I locked the bathroom door.
How is he?
Twitchy. And his sight's getting worse. But he copes.
Yes, well, I must make the effort to meet him.
Would it be one? He likes better. Anyway, he's coming down in 2 weeks. I'm thinking of bringing him into the house.
Will that be wise?
Why ever not?
I mean his eyes.
He's not that bad. Why don't you see him then?
Yes, well, that'll be fine. I'll see how I'm fixed. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Yes, of course, I'd love to see him.
You're sure?
Absolutely.
What is it?
Nothing. Why?
Well, I just wondered. At one time you had all sorts of plans to see him again. Then a couple of weeks ago, I got the feeling you'd gone off the idea. This is the first time you've mentioned him since then.
Good gracious me, you're far too sensitive.
Dear Chang, you'd have made a lovely bishop. But you're right. I am.
She's rather more posed than poised, isn't she?
I always thought harpists were tea time, not luncheon.
Perhaps she does the afternoon turn in the Commons.
In the famous Harcourt room. They do themselves rather well at Westminster, don't they?
Charles hardly tears himself away.
Isn't the Chief Whip supposed to be there most of the time?
Yes, I suppose so. It would be rather nice to see him more often. Breakfast's a pretty unsociable occasion as it is.
He seems tense. I take it he's worried about Polly.
Of course he's not. Angry, yes, but not worried. That's half the problem. There's something else on his mind, and you know, Henry, for the first time, he won't let me in.
Perhaps there isn't. Perhaps, my dear, you're being oversensitive.
That's the problem at the moment. Everyone's so sensitive. We're all on top of one another.
Yes.
Oh, no, Henry, I'm sorry. I didn't mean you.
No, not at all, not at all. In fact, the flat's nearly ready, all dried out, ceilings back, paint disgustingly fresh.
But you're not moving back yet, surely?
Well, indeed I am, dear sister. It is my home, after all. Besides, as generous as you are, it's time I left you all to your own devices and desires, as Brother Rex would so eloquently intone.
Oh, I feel awful. All this has nothing to do with you.
I'm modestly wise, my dear. I'm also set in my ways. Let us say that I'm not insensitive.
Oh, well.
The bishop's field, Mary, not mine. Not yet a while.
You'll stay to the weekend, though, won't you?
Not really. I've arranged a few days at my club. After all, we bores are by definition creatures of habit. It's hardly mine to outstay my welcome.
I'm getting dirty looks and snide comments from Gordon.
Of course. Private secretaries don't like being outside. That's why they're private.
He's a bit of a plonker, isn't he?
No, he's not. He's very bright. Probably be a PUS one day, so be careful. Which reminds me, you and Kay.
Oh, she's all right. She's learning.
I think you'll find, Gerald, that she has a few things to teach you. Go easy. Try not to be so patronising. Less abrasive, perhaps?
She's so bloody superior.
Why don't you take her down to Annie's for a drink sometime? Introduce her to a few of your friends. Get to know her. I really can't be doing with all this animosity. I have enough concerns, you know.
You'd think she'd be grateful, considering I was the one who really got her the job. After all...
Kay, there you are. We were just wondering where you'd got to.
Right.
I've been talking to the press office. They were moaning that no one had shown them anything. The private secretary said he hadn't even seen it. I thought you were supposed to be looking after that.
Don't worry, sweetie. All taken care of. They know it's coming.
That's not their version.
I take it you've shown them the final draft. No problems?
They raised a good point. What happens when the papers ask if this means you're backing the Blessed Rex officially? They're waiting for an if-asked answer.
Tricky. Very tricky, yeah? I'd better get on to them. What's the line, then?
Just a minute. Yes? Charles, there you are. I've been looking for you. What?
The boss has got another idea.
Okay.
A follow-up to this.
Now listen, about
mine,
that
really.
speech.
But he thinks it's his, eh?
What?
Yours?
Well, I thought you'd like to know, that's all, Charles. Gerald's coming over to the house in about... Oh, just a moment. 5 minutes.
10?
He'll be with you in 10 minutes, with the draft. There are no surprises, of course not.
Get it tied up tonight so we can start on it in the morning.
Basic guidelines,
I
which
think
I think
we're
you'll see
asking
your
for
brother
trouble.
agrees.
It's not worth it.
Any news from
Don't
him,
you
by the
worry
way?
about the strategy, sweetie. How
Well,
about
I'll
a
be grateful
wee
if you
dram,
find
as he
out.
calls it, when we're finished?
I'm relying on
Something
you,
bubbly
Charles.
over in the house, here?
Hmm?
With you?
Hmm.
No, thank you.
Hmm.
Come on. Strictly business, of course. No, thank you.
I'll see you this evening, then. Oh, yes. Bye.
I'd better square away the press office first. But if the old newspeak should fix it, eh?
What do you think? They've got a point. Am I backing him or not?
Don't worry. I'll think of something.
The answer is that you are not backing him. The Home Secretary's views reflect the thinking started last year in his Law and Order Begins in the Home speech. Should the Church and any of its bishops find this attractive, they are free to develop the idea within their own communion. Ends.
Exactly my view, of course.
Not bad at all, sweetie. Give us it here. I'll tot it up and give it to the press office.
You're satisfied with it?
Certainly.
I've given it to the private secretary and he's sent it through to the press office. They're both happy.
I'm not sure you have the authority, sweetie. You'll soon learn that it's protocol that oils this place.
As an expert on greasiness, you're probably correct. But the private office was angry. The press office was tearing out its hair. We need to keep them in, not out.
Absolutely. But it's a good point. Gerald, why don't you take the draft copy over to the Chief Whip? Then everyone's happy, hmm?
Will do. Thanks.
Any time.
You're sure?
It reflects my sentiment. Why not?
Okay.
That was very cruel, my dear.
Yes, wasn't it?
Won't hurt him.
Pity. You know, the little creep asked me to have a drink with him this evening.
Oh, really? What did you say?
I told him to get lost. What would you have expected me to have said? Yes?
No. Mind you, it might be worthwhile. Get to know each other. Clear the air a little.
It would take more than a drink. Oh, that ghastly aftershave. Must get it at a garage.
I'll think about it. I'd be interested to know what sort of things he talks about in private.
You know, Dougal, you really are a bastard sometimes.
Of course. It's better than being a fool.
Well, you certainly turned them on. Typical of Dougal to say something at the right time.
According to this, he has caught the imagination with his balance of moral responsibility and common sense. It is understood that the Home Secretary has prepared a cabinet blueprint to resolve the vexed relationship between the Church of England and the government.
Has he now?
First I heard of it.
You should have heard him on the radio. He had the cheek to tell them that this didn't mean he was officially backing Rex, but if he wanted to use any of his text, he wouldn't charge royalties. It's amazing.
The timing is perfect. He's got a statement this afternoon on the Prisons Commission. They're bound to have a go at him.
And give him even more publicity.
Exactly, and the more they shout at him, the more reasonable his argument will sound. He's done it before, and they still fall for it.
I have to tell the House, Mr. Speaker, that if members opposite believe for one moment that Christian values are the prerogative of the Church, then their views are even more narrow than I suspected.
Mr. Speaker, we on this side understand that humility is a basic tenet of Christianity. Hence our surprise at the Right Honourable Gentleman's religious conversion. Mr. Speaker, sir, will the Home Secretary, a member of the Church of Scotland to boot, tell us why he's been chosen for the government to publicly campaign for this particular bishop? And why indeed, Mr. Speaker, the government should be so obviously showing its preference for any of the runners in the Archbishop's
Order! There is no point in the House making it clear that it was an answer, and making it difficult for one to be heard. Mr. Secretary Baxter.
Mr. Speaker, there is no campaign. There is no preference. The views referred to earlier by the Honourable Member for Oldby were my personal views. If, Mr. Speaker, those views are similar to those of reasonable Christian principles, then so be it. I am proud of those principles, wherever and by whomsoever they are held. And, Mr. Speaker, let me once again assure the House that my speech was drafted weeks ago, long before any particular person came to any prominence in what the honourable gentleman so disrespectfully, but I'm afraid not unexpectedly coming from him, likens to a horse race.
Has the right honourable gentleman let us into a secret? He says his speech was drafted some time ago. Would he tell us, Mr. Speaker, if this means that the government had prior knowledge of the intentions of one particular bishop to make himself available? And, Mr. Speaker, is it not possible that the government has rigged the selection process? Mr. Speaker, will the right honourable member explain how the House can think anything else after what he said this afternoon? Especially as the views he has reflected are those of the leading contender who, Mr. Speaker, just happens to be the twin brother of the Home Secretary's closest friend, the right honourable member for Winchester East.
That was a little uncalled for, wasn't it?
Come on, Chang. Don't hide your sense of humour behind that waistcoat. It was a belly laugh.
I'm afraid I didn't see the joke.
Yes, you did. You just refused to laugh. I've told you before, you take yourself too seriously in here. Anyway, I was right.
Of course there's no campaign. Why should there be? We chose the chairman of the Crown Appointments Commission. If we wanted to rig it, we'd make sure the right chairman got the job.
Perhaps you did that as well.
My God, Father James, that's more than far-fetched.
So are most things. By the way, and you don't have to say yes or no yet.
I beg your pardon?
Your daughter, if she really wants a flat, I'm not going to be using mine in about 3 weeks' time.
I see.
I'm not interfering. But it's in Dolphin Square, small and decent. It won't cost her anything.
You're going away?
No, commuting. Pop's not too brilliant. I told you, he seems worried and nervous. I thought I'd stay a few weeks. Oxford's pretty easy by train or car.
Well, I'll see. It's very generous, Jules, thank you.
No, it's not. Pure altruism. It upsets me, Chang, when you are fed up. Anyway, I must go. By the way, thanks again for lunch. It was fun.
Yes, it was.
Ah, Charles, there you are. I hope you gave that little baggage a piece of your mind.
No, Dougal, she gave me a piece of hers.
What? Did you not hear the scurrilous little tart in there?
She was right. You are backing him for your own reasons.
I've told you before, Charles. You're losing your grip.
It seems today is a day for everyone telling me something that they've told me before. My memory is perfectly sound and my grip is as strong as ever, okay? Incidentally, I've been meaning to tell you all day your fly's undone.
What?
And you'll be relieved to hear that my sense of humour, Dougal, is intact.
It is exceedingly thoughtful, dear heart. Any idea why?
Not really. I'd mentioned Polly was looking. Coincidence, nothing more.
You believe still in coincidence?
I believe in an open mind.
Then you cannot possibly accept the likelihood of coincidence. I'm afraid we should have to recommend against it.
We?
Certainly. Considering that my people are about to blow the fact that her father worked for the Russians, well, Charles, 'tis hardly a point of information I would wish to keep to myself.
I see.
Tell me, what exactly did she say was the matter with her father?
Worried, concerned, nervous, just as before.
You were thinking still of going to see him?
Not after what you said. Mind you, it's very difficult. He's coming to the house.
Well, it's not as if you were close friends. I would recommend a good excuse. Perhaps you could arrange to be away. An enthronement, yes?
No, definitely not.
Really?
Rex telephoned this afternoon. He's fed up with the whole affair. He's had television, radio, the papers all banging at his door. He wants none of it.
How impressive.
He is.
What will he do?
Nothing. That's not his style. He's not in the running, nor has he been.
Is that true?
No, but it's closer than anything I've heard in the past 48 hours.
Shall we toddle into the reform, dear heart? Something refreshing, reviving. Pity. Thought he was odds-on favourite.
He was, but from experience it's always worth checking the going before the off.
Not too firm for the dear boy?
Not a bit, Henry. Too rough. Far too rough.
In that episode of The House, you heard Julian Glover as Charles Bannister, Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter, Isla Blair as Mary Bannister, Christopher Benjamin as Henry Colvil, Siobhan Redmond as Juliet Cameron, Sheila Reid as Rose, Jane Booker as Kay, David Neville as Gerald, and Terence Edmond as the Speaker. The House was written by Christopher Lee and produced by Neil Cargill. The House by Christopher Lee, starring Julian Glover as Charles Bannister and Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter.
I'm sorry, darling. I really am.
I was beginning to worry. What happened?
I came out of Harrods, grabbed a taxi, and the rest is an everyday story of city folk.
I would have thought the underground smarter, especially at lunchtime.
With all this lot.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you? Can we get you something from the bar? We have Nigel's special Monday Blues cocktail today.
Well, it's getting late.
Do you have large ones?
Sure, that'll be no problem. And you, sir?
No, thanks. Are you sure, darling?
Absolutely. I wouldn't miss one of Nigel's specials for the world. By the way, what's in it?
I don't rightly know, but it's very friendly, okay?
Okay.
Be right back with you.
Where do they get them from?
How exciting, Charles. Drink into the unknown.
Look, I don't want to be a killjoy, but I don't think I've time for lunch now.
You don't think you have, or you know you haven't?
The PM shifted Monday prayers to 2:15. Sorry, it was going to be tight anyway.
How disappointing for you, darling. Just imagine having to go back to your stuffy old commons when you could have been lunching with a girl of your dreams. Oh, come to think of it, even me.
I said I was sorry.
There you go. One special.
My God, Father James, it's blue. Even the lemon's blue and a straw. It's more like a Knickerbocker Glory.
Sure I can't get you something, sir?
No, thanks. I'm fine with this.
Mm-hmm.
Why you like this place, I really don't know.
It's fun. And it's Monday, Charles. Everything's blue, including Polly. Not bad.
It looks disgusting.
If he's not gone into college today, we have a tummy upset.
Oh, I see.
Hardly. It's not one of those tummies. This one is convenient.
For what?
A flat viewing.
Oh, not again. I thought we decided.
No, Charles, you decided, which is not quite the same thing.
So you keep saying.
So I do.
Look, it's nearly 2. I must go.
You have to. In case you forget to ask, it's Docklands.
I've made it perfectly clear, no.
If the Queen can get bolshy with the Prime Minister, surely a mere commoner's allowed the same privilege.
I really don't see the connection. Anyway, you didn't believe that rubbish.
Of course I did. I shouted bravo. Don't tell me it's not true.
Absolute twaddle. Anyway, if Polly thinks I'm paying out for some yuppified warehouse, then she's got another think coming.
Nearly got you. You were miles away. You almost did for my no claims bonus.
Getting run over in the safe precincts of the house is not something I normally worry about. Sorry. Anyway, where did this little beast come from?
It's Pops. He's more or less stopped driving, so now I've joined the Oxford commuting set. I thought, why not? Easy parking, cheap on petrol.
Very green.
Naturally. Good weekend?
So. How is he?
I don't know. He's still very nervous. He worries me. Okay. I'll tell you about it later. I think he wants to talk to you. Sod it. Sorry. Oh, by the way, I see number 10's about to recite the throne room in the tower.
Don't believe all you read.
But I do. See you, Chang.
Be realistic, Rosie. Anyway, there's rumours and there's rumours, and this one's got something, if you ask me.
No one did.
People don't go round making things like this up. Not about her, they don't.
Sure, I don't know. Nor does anyone else.
Now look, according to Mr. Mossman...
Come on, Arthur. Let me get on, and don't be so naive. I saw the advance of the palace speech. All that stuff about Hong Kong was straightforward, and it was just as she read it. Nothing was changed.
Of course it wasn't, but you didn't see the first draft, did you? Now, that's the one number 10 made her change.
Oh, Arthur Hawkins, you really take the biscuit.
They've got it here, definite. The Queen was going to say she reckoned we'd sold them poor blighters in Hong Kong down the river, and number 10's sensitive. If it was in the Times, you'd believe it.
It wasn't, and I don't.
Don't tell me, let me guess. PM gags Queen is headline of the week, yes?
Well, the way I hear it...
Arthur... the Terrace Club reception's at 6, not 6:30. They've done it again. I phoned Mrs. Bannister, she knows.
Thanks. Tell the gate, will you? But what interests me, Mr. Hawkins, is who started the rumour. And another thing. Who's this Barry Abbott fellow? I thought I knew most of the lobby correspondents.
Well, sir, come to think of it, I do have a bit of a suspicion, so to speak.
Come now, Charles. I suspect he was simply flattered by your asking his opinion. What could he possibly know?
Yes, I agree. At the same time, he seems to believe that your PPS mentioned it on Friday, as it didn't appear until yesterday.
You're too quick to condemn Gerald. I can assure you, Charles, he's not the sort of person to spread such tales.
Really?
Of course. As it happens, we've discussed the matter. I have certain friends who are, shall we say, fascinated.
Well, it's nothing to do with the Home Office. This is strictly FCO.
I disagree. If Number 10's vetoed a speech of the Queen's, well, even as Privy Councillor I've an interest. And as Chief Whip, so have you, Charles. I can see people taking sides.
Look, if there were anything in this, I'm sure the Bombardier would have given us, me at least, due warning.
Exactly. What I find curious, Charles, is that no one has bothered to mention it before. And the fact that it's in a newspaper.
Not the sort of thing editors come up with out of the blue.
Perhaps it would be to everyone's advantage.
You mean yours?
If we made some inquiries of our own, say, elsewhere.
At the palace?
Of course. What about that cousin of yours?
I have been known to drift along the Privy Purse corridor in search of tea.
It's very useful having a friend at court, so they used to say.
Aha! And what courtiers and their pages plot about my throne this day?
Hello, Jack. Whatever happened to good afternoon? Why do people have to throw Shakespeare at me all the time?
That old fraud. My God, the English are so bloody arrogant. We have plenty of quotable quotes of our own, thank you very much. Is that not so, Dougal?
I must go, Dougal. We'll talk soon, okay?
Off to the palace, is it? If they've anything to say, you'll remember your friends, I expect.
I'm not, but if they had, I expect your paper would be the last rag they'd be talking to. Bye, Dougal.
He's a wicked and barbed tongue. That had nothing to do with me, you know.
Well, you're the lobby editor. You must have known about it. It's scurrilous. Completely scurrilous. Who put you up to it, then?
How should I know? I'm but a torter picking over the truth in this place.
I'd have said peddling rumour was more your line.
Oh, have a heart, Dougal. We despised lobby hacks write only what's peddled by you people.
In these matters, I have no heart.
Seemingly your people are taking this story seriously.
Certainly not. By the way, who is Barry Abbott? You?
Oh, that's cruel. Since when did I hide behind another name? Anyway, my vanity wouldn't let me.
So, who is he?
He's what you might call a man of many parts.
A general reporter?
You could say that.
Of course, it's not that important, but it'd be nice to know.
To know what?
Come on, Jack. We're old friends.
Aye, on these occasions, seemingly we are. Would have I told you he doesn't exist?
Like the truth?
It's all harmless stuff. Barry Abbott's a house name, like William Hickey.
A false name puts distance between you and your informant, yes?
Listen, I've been in the lobby 20 years. People tell me things. I've never let on who said what. You know that.
I'm not asking who told you. I simply want to know what makes you think it's true.
I'm told the source is impeccable.
That doesn't mean it's true.
But this one's blue chip, isn't it? Must be, otherwise you wouldn't be so inquisitive. Would you now?
Thank you so much, Linda. Just leave it there. We'll, do for ourselves. Yes.
I'm sorry to call on you at such short notice.
Not at all. We appear to have mutual interests. There we are. Have a ginger nut?
No, thank you.
Yes, I remember you don't. Curious affair. Quite curious. What one might call a cut above the normal rumour. I see. I take it, Charles, that you don't know the source of the speculation?
It could have been passed on by Jack Ross, their lobby man. There is some suggestion that Ross may have picked it up from Dougal Baxter's PPS.
I don't think I know him.
Gerald Mossman.
A sound man? Oh. Oh, dear. And, Mossman, you said? His source?
I hadn't thought that far.
Well, I wish you would.
You don't seem surprised. May I take it that there may be something in this affair?
Biscuit?
No, thank you.
Some are more gingery than others. We buy burnt rejects from a lady baker in Dorset. They're really rather good.
It would be useful to know.
Prime Minister? Nothing's been mentioned. Private office?
Said it was nonsense. However,
one likes to hear both sides.
This is a private visit. Some of us feel that it's a constitutional matter.
So it is.
Someone must have started the tale.
Clearly.
Here?
I really couldn't say. I would have thought it unlikely.
Would you imagine the matter would be raised on Tuesday?
At the audience? Quite possibly. On the other hand,
quite possibly not.
Precisely.
If you forgive my saying so, that is not precise.
Perfectly so.
It really would be useful to know if you believe there is anything in this.
My dear Charles, useful? To whom?
What's more, Madam Deputy Speaker, what's more, nowhere in this bill are the provisions for the hundreds of miners in those valleys guaranteed. What about those determined men, Madam Deputy Speaker, who electrified this nation by their brave action in the Lewis Merthyr pit?
Here, here.
They
Electrified be buggered. Nobody took any notice of them.
Anyway, what were you saying? I don't think it's daft. Why shouldn't she say something like that?
Nonsense. She knows the score. She's been around longer than most of us.
She's an anachronism. It's exactly what he's talking about. It's a good enough reason to send her and the rest of them packing.
Nothing wrong with some anachronisms. Can even do some good. Pity she hadn't gone ahead and said it.
I wouldn't mind betting there's something in this. It had too much authority.
Yeah, timing's all wrong. Why now? I tell you something, Jules. Whoever set this one up knows that. They knew there'd be a row, and that means people taking sides.
You can't have the Windsors getting involved in policy, not even theirs. We should be making something of it. Tell the voters that when we're in, she's out. We'll be pushed to find another chance like this.
If we did that, we'd be inelectable for 50 years. Mind you, I think you're right on one point. Whoever wrote that thought he knew what he was talking about. I'd like to know why.
People are fed up with flag waving. There's a new mood. People are realists nowadays.
Flag waving. Aye, that could be it. Come on, this daft bugger's going on all night. Let's go and have a drink. I think you've got something.
We are not talking about anachronism.
I've PP'd all this morning's letters. There's nothing else unless you want to look at the list.
Anyone special on it?
One or two. Anything on this speech, Lark?
No, not really.
People are asking. A couple were wondering why there hasn't been a denial from 10.
No need. These crosses. Presumably they think they shouldn't be on the list.
Oh, no. They're the see me lot. If they don't turn up to vote, then they're listed. They know what they're in for.
I suppose the marginals are understandable. They're nursing their seats.
In the old days, a lot of them would be nursing seats, all right.
You mean I'm letting them get away with it?
Chief Whip's office? Right. Thanks a lot. Mrs. Bannister's arrived. She's gone straight to the terrace.
Blast. I'd clean forgotten about it. I suppose I'd better look in for a couple of minutes.
I forgot to tell you earlier. She says Polly's seen the flat and wants you both to go and look this evening.
I haven't got time to chase round Docklands. Did she tell you about it?
Oh, sounded fun.
Did it? Huh. Well, I wonder if Polly will think it funny when she has to find the rent. £350.
I know it sounds a lot, but it's rather nice.
A month? Do you hear that, Dougal? Well,
I'm afraid it's the going rate.
I must say, Charles, it seems reasonable. For London, that is.
It's appalling. For one room. One room!
Then she has to pay something towards the telephone and the rest of it.
Rest of what?
Heating, electricity, that sort of thing.
Well, that can be expensive. How many of them there?
3 others. 3 of them are paying £350. The other girl owns the flat.
So they're paying her mortgage? Oh, yeah, that's very clever.
Perhaps she should give up music, become a landlady. What sort of room is it?
Charles, what a brilliant idea.
Sorry, enough. Daft Apeth. Hey, look at that skirt. Wonder she could walk, never mind balance a tray.
If you hadn't been staring at her legs, you'd have seen the rest of her coming.
Now then, my girl, I'll have you know I'm a happily married man. Now, where was I?
Flag waving.
Right. I think someone's trying to screw us.
That's better. That's the Dennis Wigton I know and love. A juicy conspiracy beats a cock-up any day of the week.
Well, just work it out for yourself. Someone floats the idea that the Queen's eyeballing number 10. Straightforward challenge. Queen knows best stuff.
Right, she likes Hong Kong. It's empire and cheap mahjong sets.
Listen a minute, will you? They get all indignant and say it's a plot.
Who they?
That lot, the government.
Right.
We fall for it. We're caught between saying she's quite right
and that she's interfering and has to go.
And one of our front bench clowns leaps up, clutching his party card.
The last in Europe.
Shouting, "You bloody Rika, what a good idea. Let's get rid of the whole lot and put the money into hospital beds."
Why not?
Wait a minute, will you? Then the Prime Minister gets up and says, "Will our boy disassociate himself and the party from Republican loonies?"
And he's on the spot.
Right. If he says yes, he will, then he's got the loonies on his back. If he says no...
He's got the public on his back, and we don't get elected for 50 years, according to you.
See what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So who started the rumour?
They did, of course. Number 10.
She says it's got a lovely view of the river. Tower Bridge. Oh, Ruth's going. Must have a quick word with her about the NSPCC meeting. Don't go without me, darling.
One-man quango that woman's becoming.
Yes, of course. Now, Charles, talking of the tower, you think your friend from the palace was hinting that there is something in this business?
Oh, I don't know. He's never exactly chatty. That side of the family aren't. I simply got the feeling that he was being too cagey.
How did he leave it?
We're meeting again tomorrow, at the Athenaeum of all places. Meanwhile, I wonder if a chat with our terrace club host would be a good idea.
Ross? That man has no principles whatsoever.
I think that's a little unfair, but on this occasion, let's hope you're right.
You see, I'm very naive in these matters of intrigue. You must understand that when the chief whip asks a favour of a mere and quietly despised hack, well, I wonder why the giants have descended to the pygmies.
Come on, Jack. We've been friends for many years. You know better than that.
I never realised I had so many buddies, and in such high places. But I'm curious. If you trust me so much, why don't you believe me when I say I don't know?
Perhaps you're being discreet. You've said often enough yourself that you'd be finished if you revealed any of your sources.
Then why ask, eh? Sure you want a drink?
Sure. No, thanks. If you didn't write the article, then you wouldn't be revealing your informant.
But if I didn't do the story, I wouldn't know the throat.
What?
The source.
I see. But you could find out, and that wouldn't be breaking your confidence.
That would be without principle.
I would be very grateful.
It must be extremely important.
I didn't say that.
Ha, but you did.
The truth is...
Oh, we're resorting to the truth now, are we?
Jack, may I tell you something in confidence?
Sure, that's what we're talking about, isn't it? Or have I got it wrong?
You know what I mean.
I don't think I do anymore. Anyway, try me.
I'll stop you if I've heard it.
Quite truthfully.
Stop!
As far as I'm aware, there is no basis in your paper's article. The Paris speech was clean. No interference from us.
Truthfully, you say?
Honestly. However...
Now for the real honest truth, eh?
Please. As I was saying, the article was probably not true. But there is a very good reason why I should know the source of the rumour.
Only probably.
There are very honourable reasons for me to press you, Jack.
An affair of state, you might say.
Exactly.
And you'd be extremely grateful.
Extremely.
You sure I can't? It'd be no trouble.
No, don't worry, Dougal. It's very sweet of you, but there'll be a cab in a minute. It's just as easy.
Pity Charles couldn't have got away.
Yes, isn't it?
There's an important matter at the moment, you understand?
One does.
Mary, I hope you don't mind my asking.
Yes?
Well, things are all right, aren't they?
Everything's all right.
Good.
Yes, isn't it?
I wasn't prying.
Yes, you were.
For the right reasons.
Yours always are. Sorry.
You apologise too much, Mary.
Sorry.
Of course. Tell me, you think Polly'll get this flat?
You get on rather well with her, don't you? Which is surprising. You're very different.
She's my goddaughter.
That doesn't always follow, especially as you're a heathen.
I'm certainly not.
I'm sorry, of course you're not. You simply behave like one.
When I come down, we always go to church together. I take my duties very seriously, you know.
What do you think, then? About a flat?
Well, it's not for me to say.
You take your duties seriously. Surely it is.
This is yours. And I suppose it depends why she wants one.
She wants to do what we used to call our own thing.
Does she have to leave home to do it?
Depends on what she thinks it is. Maybe. She's 20 and wants some freedom.
From what?
From being 20, I suppose. Gets to us all in the end.
Give her my love.
I will.
And Mary, take care, won't you?
How many times do I have to tell you? It's all a figment of some hack's expense account.
Aha.
Anyway, it's not important. You were going to tell me about your father.
Pop? Yes, I suppose I was. He's acting very strangely. Gets up in the middle of the night.
Old men do.
No, it's not that. It's odd. He wanders about, reads old papers.
Newspapers?
He's got masses of cuttings from years ago, before I was born. And old diaries.
Perhaps it's nostalgia.
No, he's too agitated and... well, I suppose secretive. When I go into his study, he covers up whatever he's reading.
He always had a reputation for eccentricity.
Then on Saturday we were having lunch in the Randolph and he kept asking me if I thought someone was following us.
Were they?
Oh, don't be daft, Chang. Of course they weren't. That's what worries me. When we got home, he said he'd like to see you.
You've no idea what it is?
I wish I had. Do you?
Why should I?
I don't know. Just a feeling, I suppose. You're sure you don't?
There you are, Charles. I've just put Mary in a taxi. She sent her love, of course. She was looking for you.
Oh, right. We're talking about Juliet's father. He's not very well.
Yes, of course. Now, Charles, a word if you have a moment.
Should I call him?
I suppose you could.
Oh, better not.
Charles?
No, look, don't worry. You're busy.
What did that despicable Stoat Ross have to say?
You say Mary's gone?
Well, I asked Rose. She didn't know where you were.
Seems to have died a death this morning. I really don't know why they bother. Did you see old Wigton on the telly? Oh, he was quite smart. Reckoned it was a plot by number 10.
What? Who did?
Wigton. Really odd. Defended the palace. Never seen him as a royalist.
Oh, his voters are. Look at these flats. Do you realise that people are charging more than $1,000 a month for 2 bedrooms? 1,000?
What was the Docklands place like?
I really don't know. I didn't bother to go. A lot of nonsense, and expensive nonsense at that.
Is she serious about it?
Of course she is. It's her own fault. She thinks money grows on trees.
Oh, beg your pardon. Didn't realise he was busy, sir.
Amazing what some people don't realise, Arthur Hawkins.
It's that Jack Ross, sir. He was in the lobby just now. Said something about nothing to declare or something, whatever that means. Anyway, he thought you'd like to know.
Where is he now?
Well, I thought I saw him heading for the Lords.
That'll be the day.
Nothing to declare.
I assume that even though this person is rarely to be trusted, he is on this occasion telling the truth.
What he believes to be the truth, yes. It's apparently rare, whatever we might think, that the paper's editor gets directly involved.
Hence the nom de plume.
According to Ross, the paper's planners, I think he called them the backbench, were simply handed the article by the editor and told to publish it.
Which, of course, they did.
Which, indeed, they did. The implication is that this wasn't some local gossip in the Commons or on the stock exchange. The source must have been very well established.
One would think so.
He's not a fool. I telephoned him. He was charming but adamant.
And confident?
I think so.
It's very difficult to detect the difference between confidence and bravado in an editor.
Possibly. By the way, the Prime Minister raised it at prayers today.
And had he any thoughts on the matter?
We pointed out that the palace is the most powerful opposition in the country.
And at an election it would be unwise to have it publicly against one.
We said as much.
You didn't mention our meeting.
It seemed unnecessary.
Misunderstandings, so easy.
But do you think this matter will come up this evening?
Do I? We shall not raise it.
You wouldn't suggest that the leak, if that's what it was, started in, say, 10?
I would not.
You would not suggest, or you know it didn't?
Yes.
I see. You know, I don't believe this was simple journalistic speculation.
Possibly. I'm rather keen that our interest remains a matter between ourselves.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for tea. Now I really must be getting back.
Not at all. I'm glad you could come.
Yes, so kind.
You know, there was a temptation to wonder that if the rumour was not started in the normal places, then it might have begun in the palace.
Such clever cakes they do here. And I really have done rather well.
That, of course, would be rather bothersome.
And such sensible teacups.
It would explain also why the paper had so much confidence and why no one checked with the press secretary.
Such good weather. I think I might walk back.
It would be construed as deliberate interference in government policy.
One can never be sure this time of the year. I have a coat, of course.
An attempt to set public opinion against us, quite unconstitutional.
So nice to have seen you.
I imagine you have on more than one occasion talked to the editor himself.
I imagine I have. You really must allow me to give you a lunch sometime. Love to, Mary. Bye.
In that episode of The House, you heard Julian Glover as Charles Bannister, Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter, Isla Blair as Mary Bannister, Siobhan Redmond as Juliet Cameron, David Ryle as Dennis Wigton, Sheila Reid as Rose, James Garbett as Arthur, and Brett Usher as the Welsh MP. It featured John Grieve as Jack Ross and Richard Caldecott as the Queen's private secretary. The House was written by Christopher Lee and produced by Neil Cargill. The House by Christopher Lee, starring Julian Glover as Charles Bannister and Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Your cars are ready and your bags in.
Oh, thanks very much.
I hope the right bags are with the right cars. I'm not sure I'd fit into the Chief Whip's pyjamas.
They're all marked, sir. Yours was the big blue case, wasn't it? I remembered it myself.
Did you know? I'll have to be watching myself, won't I? Or I'll have no secrets left.
Bye, sir. Have a good journey.
Pretty little thing.
Yes, there's something about a wren.
I wonder whatever happened to Black Scenes.
They went out with duffel coats and Jack Hawkins films.
Oh, Mr. Bannister, glad I've caught you.
Thank you. He wants me to hang on.
Himself?
Yes. Wonder what he wants.
Your head? You were very pushy, you know, Charles. Very pushy.
If you mean firm, perhaps.
Oh, no, I mean pushy. And I'd lay good odds that the Bombardier means pushy.
It's hardly a major issue. After all, it must be the most junior ministerial job going.
That's not the point, Charles. You made it sound as if the appointment's up to you. It's not. It's the Prime Minister's.
On paper, I agree it is.
You're slipping, Charles. On these occasions, what's on paper matters. I'll tell you something. I bet you're not asked to sit down in there.
You realise your father will go 1,000,000% ape?
Not if you tell. He will if I do.
Oh, no.
He's always dead grumpy when he's been to Checkers. You'd think he'd enjoy it.
They talk till God knows when. The breakfasts are always greasy and he gets car sick on the way home. Your timing isn't brilliant, you know.
Well, couldn't we leave a note and then go out?
Oh, with the oven turned on and an empty pillbox at the bedside.
Oh, Mummy, stop it. This is important.
People are always telling me things are important. What they really mean is they're important to them. Biscuit?
No, thanks. This is. I thought you agreed.
No, I do, darling, I do, but if it means hassle, I really don't know that it's worth it. After all, the Empire of Elgar and Darjeeling's about to be disturbed. Hi, we're in here.
Hello, darling. So I could hear. Get down, blast you.
He's pleased to see you, aren't you, Wuss?
We all are, aren't we, Worcester? Come on, sit down. How was Checkers? Prime Minister in good form?
Ghastly.
The PM or Checkers?
Both.
Like some tea?
I could do with a cup. Yes, please. A complete waste of time. Totally unproductive. It's like spending the weekend with your accountant.
That does rather depend on one's predilections, doesn't it?
Oh, thanks, darling. What? Oh, yes. Well, this one's totally sexless. You'd have more fun on a desert island with Noddy.
Daddy?
Ugh, this is stone cold. Ugh. Yes?
Nothing. I'll put the kettle on for some fresh.
Oh, don't bother. I'm going to have a bath. I need it.
Before you do, there was something that we wanted to tell you. Or rather, Polly did.
Oh, can't it wait?
I suppose so.
Well, come on then. What is it?
Nothing. It doesn't matter.
Well, make up your mind.
You know, Polly, something tells me our timing's a teeny-weeny bit wrong.
Can't you leave that for Mrs. Arnold?
Certainly not. Don't pay her $3.50 an hour to wash up the breakfast things.
Well, can't you put them in a dishwasher?
3 plates, cups and saucers? Too expensive. Anyway, what's the great concern? Do my red raw hands embarrass you?
No, just the thought, that's all.
That's quite a lot, actually, Charles. How nice.
There's no need to be sarcastic.
Sorry.
And for goodness sake, there's no need to be sorry. An innocent remark, an observation, that's all.
I thought you said it was just a thought.
You know what I mean.
I suppose I used to, at one time.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Oh, nothing. Forget it. It's just me at the moment. It's all hormonal.
I see. Look at the time. I must be getting to the house.
So you must. You won't forget we're dining with Henry.
On Monday? He says Monday's not a real day.
We're supposed to be celebrating his redecorated flat.
Is Polly coming?
She's invited.
Which is not the same thing. Where is she, by the way? College?
Of course.
It's not at all of course. I half expected her to be off looking at another flat she can't afford.
Actually, I think she might have done that already.
It's about time she came to her senses.
You might try to be a little more understanding. She's feeling her way. Besides, perhaps it's not a bad thing.
Probably not. But what is a bad thing is the fact that she expects me to stump up the money for it.
There are ways, you know.
No, I don't know. Is that clear, Mary? It had better be to Polly.
Ah, there you are, Kay.
I really wish you wouldn't greet me as if I was some, I don't know, some silly little convent girl.
What? Perhaps you are.
I beg your pardon?
I was trying to get you yesterday. I even phoned from Checkers.
That was a little indiscreet, wasn't it?
I don't see why. As far as they were concerned, I was phoning my senior researcher. Or had you forgotten?
Look, Dougal, let's not kid ourselves.
You're very helpful. Just as Gerald said you'd be.
I've got a non-job because I'm your mistress. You would never have hired me if I'd been anything else.
But the whole of Westminster's run that way. And you know why? Go on, do you know?
It's who, not what you know.
No, you're wrong. It's who and what you know. That's why it works. So stop feeling sorry for yourself and just understand how lucky you are.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not here to be lucky. If I'm going to carry on, then I want to feel I'm making some contribution.
Of course, and if I could have got hold of you yesterday morning, you would have.
I was out.
I tried again last night.
What time was that?
Well, 3 or 4 times. Thought we might have had a bite. I even phoned Gerald to see if he knew where you were.
Why did you do that? Why should he know?
He's my PPS. He's supposed to know everything about everyone.
What did he say?
Fleming man wasn't there. It would have been nice to know where you were. And where have you been?
Morning. I've got the Lord's forecast. The amendment will be withdrawn, okay?
Good. Just as I expected. Tell me, where were you last night? Come on.
Went and put on the old nosebag with a man who knows about dogs.
What sort of dogs? Ah, there he is. Charles! Charles! Damn it, he's like a white rabbit!
What was that nonsense?
It wasn't. I really did meet him. I was in the pub when I gave you a bell. That's why I suggested meeting there for a drink.
I really must say that I don't see what all the fuss is about. There's a junior ministry I wanted for one of my people.
Of course. That's the problem.
Nonsense, old man. It's perfectly acceptable. Our bright people are groomed in this office. A good junior whip knows his way around.
I know all this, Charles. This time there's more to it.
I can't see why there should be. We've done it for years. Junior job comes up, the chief whip puts up his man.
Yes, of course. It's a matter of power, Charles. The PM is a little, well, insecure. It doesn't look good in Cabinet with you saying it's totally unacceptable for anyone else to be considered.
But it is precisely that, unacceptable. The junior whip's job is a thankless task. If I can't guarantee a decent chance of a red box, then, well, I just won't get the commitment from them.
I don't have that problem with loyalties.
Your people are already ministers. It's quite different.
I was thinking of my PPS. Totally loyal. I trust him completely.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can, because it's only because you expect promotion.
And there are ways of making sure he gets it. But when I'm ready, Charles, it's a matter of leadership.
No, can we drop the matter? I had half an hour with the Prime Minister. I'm rather sick of the whole business.
I warned you, Charles. As you know, I have your interests at heart. What did the Bombardier have to say?
With an election inside 6 months?
All row together stuff.
Precisely. I repeated my point about junior whips protecting a majority in the most difficult circumstances and deserving the first opportunity of reward.
So you're not going to give in?
Well, if you must know, I made it a point of principle.
You mean resignation?
That, Dougal, is for others to decide.
Look, I don't want you to get the wrong idea.
Now, would I do that? You know me, eh?
Well, there are some things you don't know. The other night was a bit of fun, but that's it.
And what about the old disco, then? Nothing in that?
Not the way you think.
You really have pretty eyes, you know.
Oh, my God, don't be so corny.
I'm not. I'm just telling you, eh?
Forget it.
Forget what?
Well, us.
What are we supposed to be forgetting? We haven't actually stoked up the old bonfire, have we?
Absolutely.
Right. A few drinks. Just good friends, as the front office says.
Okay.
Well, who said it was anything else, eh?
Nobody, I suppose.
Right. You know, you really do have lovely eyes. Seriously.
Please, save it for the secretaries.
You're bothered in case you get a bit of a reputation, aren't you?
Let's forget it.
Don't worry. I shan't tell anyone. More fun, anyway.
What is?
Keeping a secret, eh?
You really can be the pits.
You know, you and I could make something of all this.
Or what?
This place. I mean, you don't think I'm going to hang around as parliamentary nanny for much longer, do you?
I can't imagine you hanging around anything for long.
Seriously. You and I could be a good double act. I reckon it won't be long before Dougal starts shunting the old name up the junior ministry list, eh?
Yours?
You wait till I start the rumour that Bannister's doing the right thing pushing his boy. I reckon Dougal will take the hint, eh?
What? And put your name forward?
See? You're not only really pretty, you're quick on the uptake, eh?
You really are too much. If they ever need a minister for yuck, then you're probably right. You'll get the telephone call.
Nice thing about Dougal is that he can take a hint. Especially if you mix it with his vanity. Just watch him.
I don't think I want to, thanks.
Yes, you do. And you should. You and me are about the same. Oddballs.
The only thing that's odd is why I ever bothered to sit in the same restaurant.
Because you wanted to. What are you? 35? 36? Very, very pretty. Blonde. Nice legs.
You forgot the eyes.
And still single. Now I'll tell you. That's odd. See?
Hi, Chang. Who thinks he is but isn't this time, eh?
Hello, Jules. Who thinks he's what?
Well, when I see a chief whip appearing at the freebie trip notice board, I reckon someone's about to get a nice foreign all expenses paid cancelled.
Damn right they are. Look at these select committee visits. Why is it that every committee under the sun has to go to Washington on fact-finding tours?
They don't all. Dennis's defence crowd went off to Nepal, right time of year, mind you.
And dropped in on Hong Kong just to make sure they didn't miss out.
I've told you, Chang, they all came back with 24-hour suits and CD players. Except Dennis, of course.
And I've told you, you mustn't go around calling me Chang.
OK, Wong, got a proposition for you.
Give up.
Good. Friday week, 7 for 7:45, black tie.
Hey, steady on. Where's this?
Your old college requests the pleasure, etc. Seriously, you know I said Pop would like to see you. Well, there's a Gaudy Friday after next, and he wants you to come as his guest. You will, won't you?
I see.
You do? Or you will?
I'll have to look at the diary. Rose keeps it.
Please. He's more screwed up than ever. For some reason, he thinks talking to you is important.
I haven't been back for a feast for 20 years. I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
And don't worry about driving. We can give you a bed for the night.
We?
I must go. That's Dennis speaking. I want to hear him. Yes, we. I'm at home that weekend.
You know, my dear, there is a sense of gloom descending. I feel my brow furrowing. Yes, furrowing.
But what on earth am I expected to do? This will be the 6th or 7th time that I've made an excuse not to meet him.
I can only tell you that we are about to move on the Cameron of Cameron.
Well, clearly he knows that.
Clearly, I wouldn't have thought so.
It seems obvious to me. She keeps telling me how agitated he is, gets up in the middle of the night, hiding old papers and notebooks, that sort of thing.
Does he? I wonder why.
You know jolly well he does. If you're about to move on him, as you call it, it seems perfectly reasonable he should be upset.
But that would suggest that he knows we are.
The idea of the book isn't much of a secret. Anyone who's interested knows it's being written.
True, true.
If old Cameron was recruiting for the Russians, then he might guess that he's about to be blown, even if it was in the 50s.
Not necessarily. There have been a number of articles and publications since then, and never a whiff of your old tutor. No, dear heart, this is new.
Which suggests someone has told him.
To me it does, most certainly.
So, once again, your people have a problem of mixed loyalties.
You don't think that we...
Frankly, Henry, I sometimes wonder if the Secret Intelligence Service is secret, intelligent, or even a service.
I don't think he's in such a strong position as they say he is. Some of the troops think he's in for the Harry Choppers.
Speculation. Prime Ministers don't go around getting rid of their chief whips. Not with an election on the cards.
Well, that doesn't stop speculation in this place. Personally, I think he's a nasty bit of work.
Ouch. Kay, I must ask you to remember that Charles Bannister happens to be a personal friend, as well as a cabinet colleague.
And that was a personal opinion from a personal friend, and for the moment at least a colleague.
Hello, hello.
She's got some ludicrous idea that she's not pulling her weight.
I am actually in the room, you know. And whatever you think of my ideas, they're not ludicrous.
Of course not. Same time, perhaps the original idea of heading off number 10 has gone by the board or something, eh?
I don't see why. Anyway, I haven't time to argue about this. We'll talk about it at the weekend.
Something on then?
I meant at the weekend. I mean on the telephone.
I may be away. I don't know yet.
Nonsense.
No, it isn't.
Nobody gets a private life in this place, sweetie. Isn't that what they say, eh?
I don't really much care what they say, whoever they are. Can we talk about this another time? Look at this. Every one of these statistics suggests the prison report will be torn to shreds by anyone who's done any homework.
Oh, come now.
You ought to know. Private office obviously doesn't.
Of course. That's why you're here. You've proved my point for me. Now, why don't you two put your heads together and produce me a stern, yes, that's it, stern speech that'll show I anticipated all this, I've got something to attend to.
Stern speeches are not going to solve the problem, Dougal.
We're not in the business of solving problems, my dear. We're in the business of avoiding them.
It's called politics, sweetie, which is why I reckon the chief whip's onto a loser.
You say some of our people think he's taking the wrong line?
Oh, no. They're on his side.
But you suggested some are talking about him...
being on a hiding to nothing? Right. But they're still on his side. He's a bit more popular than number 10, and he's doing his bit for his kiddywinks, eh?
You mean he's making sure he gets jobs for his boys?
Give the lady a prize.
But popularity is not always a good thing.
Bannister's is. It guarantees him royalty where it matters, at the grassroots. If he ever decided to go for the big one, they'd be with him.
Of course. 1:30, I'm late. That's interesting. Very interesting.
Listen, if you call me sweetie once more, it'll be the last time. Save it for the tea room duchesses, all right?
See, it worked. He picked it up and he's running with it. And you were brilliant. Word perfect.
I didn't mean to. Just came out.
I told you. We're a good double act, eh?
No, thanks, not for me. We're dining with my brother-in-law. It tends to be a very liquid occasion.
He's moved out?
Oh, yes, a couple of weeks ago. The flat's all finished, ceilings are back, the risk of drowning's receded. So...
You'll be putting on the... nose bag.
I hardly think it'll be cottage pie, if that's what you mean.
No, it's just an expression of Gerald's.
Really? Yes, he does have some rather picture book conversation.
He's very bright. In fact, he'd make a good junior one day.
Whose?
He gets things done. That's not to be underrated around here.
Yeah, perhaps, but in a department, the rules and players are somewhat more sophisticated.
Nevertheless, it pays to look after one's young men. It inspires a certain loyalty, even if it is based on expectation.
Well, as a sense of public duty is so unfashionable, one can expect little more.
That's a realistic view, I suppose.
Unfortunately, Dougal, it's a jaundiced one, though I imagine it amounts to the same thing.
I had a quiet word with the PM a few moments ago.
Oh, a rarity in itself.
No, it was all very civilized. As you know, the Bombardier admires my judgment. Oh, so I'm led to believe.
A prerequisite for any cabinet appointment, Dougal. Oh, at least it used to be.
Of course. But there are times when we understand each other a little better than most.
What a horrible thought.
As I said, we had an interesting talk.
You didn't, but I didn't doubt that for one moment. I really must be getting along, old man. Henry dines at 7:30 sharp. He's quite likely to start without us.
I thought I'd just mention that,
what?
Hello there.
Ah. Hello. By the way, the answer's yes.
Tremendous. I'll tell him.
We'll fix a time later, okay?
Sure, he'll be really pleased. Bye.
Good. I'm sorry. You really must excuse me, Dougal.
I'm glad you're able to please someone. What's that all about?
Oh, nothing important. Father's not very well. Remember? Thought I'd pop up to Oxford, see how he is.
Oh, of course. Very touching.
What does that mean?
What I said. I didn't know you were friends.
We're not. Haven't seen him in years. That's partly why I'm going.
I didn't mean the father.
You were saying?
Oh, yes. Well, I mentioned to the Prime Minister that in my opinion, well, I thought that my PPS, Gerald, would be a preferable candidate for the junior ministerial job. That's all.
He's really looking forward to it. I think he wondered if you were avoiding him.
What a strange idea. Why? What did he say?
Nothing really. It was more the way he kept asking about you. When you see Pop again, you'll understand. He's changed a lot.
We've all done that. You mean his eyes are worse?
Partly. That's forced him to be less independent, but it's more a feeling that I have rather than anything he said.
I see.
It's as if he's hoping for something. Don't ask me what. It's just a feeling.
Tell me, Jules, is there anything else? Has anything happened?
What sort of thing?
Well, I don't know. How could I? It's just that everything you say suggests that whatever's bothering him is more than someone getting on in years.
I suppose old people worry about the future more than we imagine.
And the past.
Left undone those things we ought to have done, and done those things we ought not to have done. That applies to anybody, surely.
We'll see. But you've really no idea what it is he wants to see me about?
I don't even know that there is anything. Should there be?
Nothing that I can think of. Anyway, let's not worry about it now. I'll get there as early as possible.
That'll be great.
After all, if he's got something on his mind, a feast is hardly the place to speak it.
Thanks. I'm glad you're coming.
It'll be good to see him after all these years.
That's not what I meant. Bye, Chang.
I'm playing butler tonight. The terrible twins are concocting. They're in a huddle in the blasted heath Henry calls his kitchen.
I must say, it doesn't look any different.
It is in there. New ceiling, new curtains, new everything.
Don't tell me he's discovered Regency bedrooms.
I'd describe it as early Holiday Inn. It's appalling, but don't tell him.
Including music.
The water music. That was Polly's idea of a joke.
Oh, I see. After the deluge. It's very funny.
Not really. Very Polly, perhaps.
Do your butler's duties extend to a whisky?
Oh dear. Refuge is, after all, decanter-shaped. As long as you tell me you had a good day and you're in an even better mood.
Yes, no different from any other.
Oh dear. That bad?
Not really. Another row with the Bombardier. A couple of senior members who should know better started muttering about time for change.
Here you are.
Cheers. Dougal's running yet another conspiracy, God only knows why. And we've got a 60-40 chance on tonight's vote.
Not a good day. Well, now for the really good bad news. Those boring people with the mad sons have invited us to dinner Friday after next.
I see.
Good. I checked with Rose. She said your diary was clear, so I accepted. They're dreadful social climbers, but we really should.
I'm sorry, I shan't be here. I'm dining in Oxford that night.
You sure? Rose said it was okay.
It came up just as I was leaving.
It's important.
Not really, but I've said yes.
Where is it? Am I supposed to come?
No, it's a feast to Gaudy, my old college. Old Cameron invited me.
Ah.
I couldn't really say no.
No, darling. That's the last thing I imagine you could do.
I've been thinking of writing a piece for the Times, you know.
I didn't.
Of course. Something on penal reform, starting a debate, that sort of thing.
When?
Oh, soon. I was thinking we could have a bite of supper this evening, discuss it, you know. Book a table, will you?
Actually, I'd rather not, if you don't mind.
All right. I'll do it. Where shall we go?
I meant I'd rather not go anywhere.
Well, I suppose I could come to your place. It's not really a good idea, though.
Do you mind if we give it a miss tonight? I'm tired. I thought I'd get an early night.
Anything wrong? This is rather important, you understand.
Nothing. I'm just tired. Put it down to a bad Monday.
Yeah, of course. You're sure there's nothing wrong?
Absolutely sure. I'm sorry, perhaps later in the week. I'll just take these and registry can get them away tomorrow, okay?
I imagine so.
Night.
Yes. Good night. Ungrateful bitch.
Ta-da! Make way for the cook.
Prepare to be amazed. Things on sticks untouched by human hands but caressed by fairies. Charles, greetings. Have a sizzling sausage.
Henry, Polly, what magic!
Gosh, this looks a feast in itself.
Not by Oxford standards, darling, surely. Come on, put it down here. How delicious.
I really wouldn't know.
Oxford?
The burst and well done ones are mine, okay?
We have crispy duck without, I repeat, without orange sauce, followed by an elegant trifle.
Oh, that's hot. Can they be? Trifles, elegant, I mean.
Oh, it depends entirely on the colours, dear sister. Have a napkin.
How many paper ones? These will get frightfully sticky.
Paper ones, perish the thought. Anyway, I support a trustworthy laundry. What was that about Oxford?
Just an in-joke. Charles is feasting in his old college.
Oh, boring. Uncle Hen, that's my burnt one.
Oh, a million, even a zillion apologies. Some special occasion, dear boy? Have another.
Not just now. Not really.
Oh, go on, Daddy. We made them specially. They're from Paxton.
Oh, very well.
Oh, don't force yourself.
Didn't we buy something special?
Right. I'd forgotten. It's in the fridge and I'll get it.
When is the great dreaming spires occasion?
Week after next, I think.
Don't tell me it's slipped your mind already, darling.
Not really. Actually, it's Friday. Friday week, that is.
Hang on. Don't break anything. I'll get them.
Cameron?
Yes.
Unwise.
So you said.
You must not.
I've said yes.
Then you must un-yes, I insist. It would be quite inappropriate.
Impossible.
Charles, I insist. Most unwise and dangerous.
Oh, that sounds fun. What's dangerous?
Cholesterol in sausages, my dear, but one more, I think.
And who's going to open it? Daddy, you must.
You must flood your rooms more often, old man, if it means champagne every time. Henry first. His party.
This isn't for Uncle Hen, it's for us. We're celebrating, aren't we, Mummy?
I'll tell you when I've seen your father's face.
I love surprises. Don't you, Charles?
Henry, you know him better than that.
Come on, out with it. What's this in aid of?
Cheers, everybody. Here's to Flood Street.
Of course. How appropriate. Cheers.
Is someone going to tell me?
We've bought a house.
My godfather James, you what? How splendid. Triple cheers and enormous congratulations, my dear.
It's brilliant, it really is, and you must come and see it.
Of course.
Charles?
What? Who? How? With
You're
what?
looking peaky, darling. Are you sure you'll be fit for feasting by next week?
Flood Street is a bit small and it needs decorating. It's all a bit dark, but it's fantastic.
May I ask who has bought it and with what?
We have, darling.
Oh dear. Or at least I think so.
Is this a joke? We have?
Yes, darling. Polly and I. We've used some of Grandma Reese's money and mine.
But it must have cost a fortune. Anyway, I said no. I thought I'd make myself clear, if not entirely popular.
So you did, darling, and no, you weren't. But that was renting. As you pointed out, rents are enormous.
So we bought it. Or sort of, with the bank's help. And I'm going to rent out 3 rooms to pay the mortgage. And that means I live free and have a house. Brilliant, yes?
A day of surprises, Charles. And after all, dear heart, the least of your problems.
In that episode of The House, you heard Julian Glover as Charles Bannister, Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter, Isla Blair as Mary Bannister, Christopher Benjamin as Henry Colvil, Siobhan Redmond as Juliet Cameron, Jane Booker as Kay Bennett, David Neville as Gerald Mossman, and Ruth Gemmell as Polly Bannister. The House was written by Christopher Lee and produced by Neil Cargill. The House by Christopher Lee, starring Julian Glover as Charles Bannister and Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter.
I thought he banged on a bit. Hardly the time to talk about the sanctity of marriage, was it?
It was a wedding, Charles. I call it immaculate timing. Rather good. Short and to the point. He's about the only one in your family who is.
I didn't know they said things at weddings. It was really nice. Didn't you think so?
Of course. Actually, Charles, I imagine you noticed that your brother's sentiments were similar to those of my own speeches.
Such a comfort, Dougal, when a bishop catches up with one's moral standard.
I must tell him.
Personal relations are sacrosanct, in my opinion.
How's your wife? We haven't seen her lately.
Polly, stop staring.
It's quite all right, Mary. Polly and I have long had an understanding. I don't take her seriously, but she does me. Isn't that right?
If you say so.
Exactly. Oh, by the way, Mary, what happened to your brother? I thought I saw him earlier.
He's over there. Normally he wouldn't be seen dead in anything but a cathedral.
Somehow.
In fact, if you'll excuse me, I must have a quick word before he goes.
Uncle Hen never goes. He disappears.
These matters always end in tears. A weeping mother of the bride is but a precursor to wretchedness of infinitely worse proportions.
Stepmother, actually.
Experience weeps in families, however tenuous the connection. These are indeed sad times. For all of us, Charles.
Cameron?
It was quite unwise for you to meet him.
So you said, but, well, his daughter asked me. He's in a terrible state.
Hardly surprising, dear heart. The man is a traitor. He's about to be uncovered.
Was. It was 30 years ago.
Is. Treachery is forever.
Frankly, I'm not sure how much more he can take.
How touching.
He knows someone's written a book, but not who, but he does believe he's about to be blown.
So you discussed it with him, and he admitted it. Well, that's progress. He's never done so before.
Of course I didn't, but it was pretty obvious what was bothering him. Bothering? That's an understatement. He's a complete bag of nerves.
We'll soon see.
Charles, there you are.
Blast.
What do you mean?
Some of the details in the manuscript have been leaked to the Sunday Times. It'll be everywhere by the weekend.
Charles.
Who leaked? You?
Why, Charles, surely that doesn't offend your refined sense of idealism?
Chief Whip's office?
I'm not here.
Sorry, not at the moment.
3 o'clock.
Probably in about half an hour. OK, will do. Bye. Number 10. Not urgent. Something for tomorrow's prayers. They're copying a minute. I'll pick it up when I go over to 12.
If you would. What's it about?
It's truth. Could be anything at the moment. They've got one of the monthly panics on.
Hasn't everyone?
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Look at this lot. 15 select committee notices from just 6 committees. I reckon they're lining themselves up for their New Year trips.
Sun-seeking at the taxpayer's expense.
Oh, come January the 4th, you won't be able to lay your hands on more than a dozen MPs in the whole country.
Oh, that reminds me, I forgot to tell you. We'll be in Scotland as usual.
That's nice. All of you?
I really don't know, Rose. Polly's becoming a law unto herself.
Oh, they all do it. Have you seen the house?
I haven't had time.
Don't you think it might cheer her up a bit if you did?
Does she deserve to be cheered up?
If you don't mind me saying, as long as you're her father, yes.
Ah, there you are, Charles.
Tea?
Oh, that'd be nice. Dougal?
Oh, yes. Yes, please. No sugar, of course.
I'd have thought it was a bit late for that.
Charles, I really do find that woman downright rude. Charles?
Sorry. Thinking about something Rose said, that's all.
I have to say, you seem to have been letting go recently. Preoccupied, I think Gerald called it.
So touching that he noticed.
I've said before, you underestimate him. Now take this nonsense about your junior ministry.
A ministerial post, Dougal, is hardly nonsense, however junior it might be, and I reserve my right to recommend anyone I wish for the job, and I expect my wishes to be respected.
I suspect that when the department's reorganised, the job will go altogether. I know for a fact that's in the PM's mind.
Are you sure?
Of course. The Prime Minister and I understand each other far beyond our ministerial terms of reference.
Then one had better plan for a reshuffle.
There won't be one. The job will go. Frankly, Charles, that's why I didn't push too hard for Gerald to get it.
I see.
He knows it, too. I've explained. He believes I put up a case knowing that when a real job comes up, the PM will feel obliged to accept my recommendation.
So Gerald will have his day.
Oh, I didn't say that. He believes he will, certainly. It's known as sustaining his loyalty by preserving his level of expectancies.
I'm impressed. I hope he is.
Of course. The difficulty, Charles, is for you.
Winning is not a difficulty I'd easily give up.
But you didn't give up.
Placing one of my junior whips on the ministerial rung has a certain value, old man. It also maintains the precedent that the chief whip is a source for career-minded MPs.
But you see, Charles, the Bombardier was forced to back down.
I'd have said concede a point.
If you hadn't made it in Cabinet, you might be right, but it was very public. A warning, as an old friend, of course.
However else could I take it?
You made the PM bleed. I hear that your head is being demanded.
I'm hardly the Baptist crying in the wilderness.
Very clever, Charles. But if you're interested in the wilderness, take my warning. The back benches are heaped with the bones of yesterday's men.
That's very thoughtful, old man, but I think not. When it's time for me to go, I'll choose my own time and my own method.
You're not hearing me, Charles. You've become too powerful. According to 10, that's not allowed.
What about this one?
Bit bright, isn't it?
It's cheap.
Well, you'll have to live with it. There's enough there to do some cushions as well.
I want big ones all over the floor.
Sounds more like a squat than a house. The sort of people you want aren't going to pay Flood Street rents for Earl's Court tat.
Well, maybe Daddy knows some MPs who want rooms. I mean, they get loads of allowances and things, don't they?
Oh, no. Not a good idea. I don't think refugees from Annie's bar at midnight looking for exotic things to do in the shower are exactly the tenants you need.
Oh, this is nice. I like greens. Gerald said he knew a couple of people who might want to share.
I thought that was all off.
It is. I still see him sometimes, though.
I hope you haven't any bright ideas in that direction.
You're joking.
I rather thought I wasn't.
He's all right, but don't worry. Anyway, he's got something going with Dougal's friend.
Kay Bennett? Rubbish.
Oh, yes? I've seen them in The Grapes, in Rules. Why do you think I was winding him up?
The central lobby's hardly the place to talk privately about this. What about Gordon, 7 o'clock?
I really don't see what you're bothered about. He was much easier after you left. That was the first night's proper sleep he'd had for weeks.
Hello, Charles. Good splicing.
What? Oh, yes, fine, thanks.
Good.
Look, I really do need to talk to you. This is like Piccadilly Circus.
If it's about Saturday, don't worry. I'm a big girl now, Chang. Anyway, I'm not the kiss and tell type.
No, it's not that. I'm sorry, I've people waiting for me. It's 7 o'clock. Really, it is important.
He certainly seems to have a knack of disappearing when it's important.
He was in the central lobby 5 minutes ago. I saw him.
Doing what?
Talking.
Who to?
I'm not sure.
Well, I really can't wait any longer. I'm very busy, you know.
So they say.
And what do you mean by that? Charles.
Yes, Dougal. Here I am.
The whole world's been looking for you.
Number 10, actually.
For some, there is nothing else. Prayer lists again. They'll have to wait.
Private secretary. Could you bell the PM soon as you show?
They have a way with words. You better get them.
Before you do, Charles, perhaps I could speak in private. It may be useful.
Rainforest time. That lot's for signing, that lot's for yay or nay.
Before you go, will you get me a copy of the McCall inquiry? Should be in the library. Then get a messenger to deliver it to the flat for me this evening.
If they've got it, I'll drop it in myself. I'm going that way.
Thanks. Go on.
McCall? That was MI5 and double agents or something. What's brought that up?
Oh, very little. A private discussion, and I wanted to refresh my memory.
It wouldn't have anything to do with the events that are about to take place.
Should it have?
Charles, as Home Secretary, I have certain responsibilities and advance information. I wasn't aware that the Chief Whip had similar interests.
I haven't. Now, was that it? I must call 10.
No, Charles, no. I think I know what the Bombardier wants to talk about.
Are you a messenger?
Not exactly. You see, there's a group of us, and, well, as you know, Charles, you have many admirers.
But?
Oh, no. No buts.
It was you who warned me that the PM was calling for my head. Surely admirers get splattered with blood on these occasions.
Your attitude in Cabinet over this appointment, well...
Upset the PM? Enough to behead me?
As you know, Charles, it would be very silly for the party to lose its Chief Whip in a dramatic manner, especially with an election on the way.
That, indeed, would be carelessness to the point of electoral suicide.
Exactly.
You imagine I knew this?
Of course. And you're right. But so is the Prime Minister.
So?
A very full version of your fight to get that job for one of your own has reached every backbencher in the House.
Naturally.
Oh, don't worry, Charles. We realise you made sure that it did. The point is...
Oh, there is one.
Don't be so cynical. Of course there is. The point is that your stock is very high among the troops. I've made this very clear to the Bombardier.
Who says?
Well, let us say that when you go over to number 10, the chances are that there will be a proposition on the table.
I see.
We think you'd be wise to pick it up.
Just a moment. Yes? OK, put him on. Henry? Can it wait? All right, then. 6 in the rag. Downstairs. Bye. Well, well. It would seem that this is a very full day for advice to the Bannister household.
My dear Charles, you simply must not entertain such thoughts. The slightest warning may cause all kinds of difficulties. Surely you must understand.
All I'm saying, old man, is that a gentle warning to his daughter may save her some terrible grief.
I'm afraid, dear heart, that the sins of fathers may visit daughters as well as sons. You must not be involved any more than you have been.
I'm not.
Of course you are. You saw Cameron against my advice. That advice was expressed professionally as well as personally. You know that.
What'll happen?
Sometime during the next few days, Cameron will receive, shall we say, visitors.
Arrested?
Hardly, my dear heart. Preliminary discussion. We're not in the business of making arrests. That's for the plods.
He'll go to pieces.
We rather hope so. But you must not.
My God, Father James, you make me sound like an accomplice.
It might have been better for everyone, Charles, if you had managed to avoid such personal involvement in this entirely disagreeable adventure. Don't you think?
Must have done wonders for Peter Jones' half-yearly profits.
I haven't got any money left. I didn't know it would cost all that.
Oh, that's better. Put the tea bags on, will you, darling? Mm-hmm. No, what you mean is you haven't any of my money left.
I'll pay you back. I said I would.
As soon as you get your allowance.
Right.
Which is as soon as I can afford to give it to you. Brilliant.
You said you would.
I know. Don't worry. But you'll have to make the curtains yourself.
Would it cost much to have someone do them?
Of course it would. Especially in London.
Do you think Daddy'll like the colours?
Polly, I wish you wouldn't.
Do you?
Not enough to pay for them to be made up. If I were you, I'd avoid the whole subject. He's got a lot on his plate at the moment. None of it involves spending a small fortune on Flood Street.
I don't suppose he'd notice anyway. He's never here nowadays. Apart from Uncle Hen's dinner party last week, today was the first time I'd sat down beside him for more than 10 minutes for months.
I've told you before, Polly. If you want to stay single, marry a successful politician. If you want to stay on first-name terms, then get one with a safe shire seat and no ambition.
Gerald says that Daddy's getting a lot of stick from the boring Bombardier. He reckons he's pushing his luck.
Your father doesn't believe in luck. He regards it as rather common. He only believes in integrity and public duty.
I wonder which one we come under.
Neither. We're family. Here you are. Tell me, does Gerald know about Dougal and Kay Bennett?
I don't know. I've said nothing. But that wouldn't bother him.
I wonder if Dougal knows.
God, you're joking. He's like the rest of them down there. They all believe they're God's gift when it comes to women.
Not all of them, darling.
All right. I didn't mean Daddy as well. But that's only because he's so boring he wouldn't even think of it.
Did you go back last night?
Mm-hmm. He was asleep by the time I got in. He usually is. It's only in the early hours that he starts his prowling in the study.
Why don't you take a couple of days with him?
I will. It's difficult at the moment. You forget the constituency's 200 miles away.
What about this weekend?
No chance. Surgery Saturday morning, community centre committee in the afternoon, AGM dinner Saturday night, and a sponsored cycle ride Sunday. You fancy putting £1 a mile on me?
Tomorrow, then?
We'll see. But don't worry. Pop's much better.
He looked a bag of nerves to me.
You didn't see him a couple of weeks ago. He was really screwed up. Seemingly, whatever you said to him on Friday night did the trick.
Can't think why. All we did was talk about old times. I didn't remember much about them. In fact, I couldn't remember a single person he mentioned. What did he say to you?
I called him this afternoon to tell him I wouldn't be back tonight, and he said not to worry, because everything was sorted.
What did that mean?
I haven't a clue, and he wasn't about to tell me. I thought it better not to push it.
Jules, I don't want to interfere, but it might be an idea if you scrubbed round this weekend and went to Oxford instead.
Whatever for?
I just think it'll be better, that's all. Call it instinct.
Come on, Charlie, you don't have those sort of instincts. What is it?
Well, he's an old man, and he's obviously got something on his mind, whatever you might say.
You know what it is, don't you?
I might do.
If you think it was Saturday night and us, it wasn't. Anyway, he wouldn't say anything.
I think you should, that's all.
I've told you, it's impossible.
Jules, dearest Jules, please just accept what I say.
Chang, this is crazy. You drag me down here to tell me something which you say is so important.
I promise you.
And then you won't tell me what.
Trust me. Go home on Friday as soon as you can. You should be there, Jules, not here.
God! It's you! You made me jump!
Sorry. With that racket going on, the retreat from Moscow could have come through and you wouldn't have noticed. That's better.
No, it's not.
What's all this for?
Curtain material. We got it today. What do you reckon?
It's tremendous.
Really? You like it?
Mind you, I wouldn't want to sleep in the same room with it. I expect it might have the same effect as strong gorgonzola and black coffee last thing at night.
You think it's awful, don't you?
I've just said I like it.
I know, but you don't. I can tell.
Polly, I promise you, it's really tremendous.
You're just saying that.
I promise, okay?
Maybe. Uncle Hen says it looks like something by Salvador Dali in a bad mood.
When did you see him?
About 20 minutes ago, and he wants you to call him. He says it's mega urgent.
That's better.
Well, shouldn't you call him?
Probably. Who's going to make them for you?
I've spent all my money on the material.
What about that woman in the village? Didn't she do the bedroom ones at the farm?
Oh, she's brilliant, but she still charges. I'm going to try and do it myself.
I thought your mother said she was reasonable. Cheaper than Harrod's, anyway.
I've just said I haven't any money. You don't ever listen, do you?
Sometimes, Polly, neither of us does. Take them down this weekend. I'll raid the piggy bank.
You mean it?
Well, why not? Be ashamed to spoil that material.
Daddy, you're brilliant.
Steady. This is Glenmorangie, not confetti.
Ah, Saved by the Bell. I bet that's Uncle Henry.
Come on, let's go.
It's almost 10 o'clock. Where?
Get your coat. Flood Street, of course. Got a key?
Yes, but...
Oh, come on then, you stupid child. If I'm paying for the curtains, I may as well see the place. You never know. We might get matching carpets.
Really? Well, what about Uncle Hen?
He can wait. We've more important things to do. Coming?
Coming!
I bet she was surprised. Nice, is it then?
We both were. It will be.
I can just imagine Polly with a paintbrush and paste.
Oh, no. I'm getting 2 lads from the village to do it up from top to bottom.
I thought you weren't having anything to do with it.
That was last week. Just don't accuse me of never listening to you, OK?
I reckon that's nice. I'd love to have been there.
Ah, Charles, there you are. I was trying to get you. What happened?
Here I am, Dougal. As ever, I'm flattered. What happened about what?
Oh, that reminds me, Mr. Colville's been trying to get you.
Henry?
He's been on 4 times this morning. I tried to ring home.
Well, listen, this is important.
We switched off the telephone last night. I thought the world could do without us for a few hours.
Presumably you've considered the offer.
Oh, that. Yes, I suppose I have.
Go on, then. Oh, don't be so infuriating. What did you say? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, here we go. Time for Rose to get the tea again. No sugar still, Mr. Baxter?
Fine.
There's no need to go. Indirectly, it concerns you as well.
Charles, I really do think there's an element of confidentiality here that should not be taken lightly.
Rose is my confidential secretary, Dougal. That point was established many moons ago.
Of course. But in the circumstances...
What the Home Secretary knows, what I know, but what you don't know, Rose, is that the Prime Minister wants a new Chief Whip.
I wouldn't have put it that way, Charles.
Of course you wouldn't, Dougal.
You're joking.
No, I'm not. It seems... Well, it doesn't matter what it seems. That's the truth of it.
Well, what about the offer, Charles? What about it?
Number 10, for reasons best known to the PM and Mr. Baxter here, wants me to become party chairman.
Well, would you believe it? Chief Whip's office.
Well, Charles?
Just a moment.
What did you say?
I didn't.
You turned it down, Charles. I have to tell you.
No, I didn't say no. I said I'd think about it. I'm seeing him this evening. Who is it?
It's Miss Cameron. She wants a word.
Juliet Cameron? That was curious, wasn't it?
What was?
Surely you heard, Charles.
Heard what?
Her father, old Cameron.
What about him?
You didn't know?
Dougal, please. May we leave cliff-hanging to guillemots?
I'm surprised you didn't know, Charles. Cameron's dead.
He's what?
They found him last night. Seems he committed suicide.
A most disagreeable matter. And a somewhat inevitable denouement.
You're sure it was suicide?
Closed garage, a hose pipe from the exhaust. I'm afraid few coroners would ponder long on the notion of natural causes.
How dreadful.
Such a cowardly act. But traitors are such beings. We feared he might, but there was little we could do.
But why now?
The day proved too much excitement for him. He was interviewed in the afternoon, and by 7 it was done.
What do you mean, interviewed?
2 colleagues, dear boy, motored to Oxford. It is a procedure I've explained before.
You mean they gave him the 3rd degree?
Come, Charles. Such scallywags exist in penny dreadfuls and in Bucharest, perhaps. Anyway, no purpose is served.
Then why bother?
To see if there was anything he wished to tell us before a more formal exposure might scatter the wicked.
Did he?
It was a worthwhile visit.
Inasmuch that it drove him to suicide?
It was not we, dear boy, who encouraged him to treason in the first place.
Try to explain that to his daughter.
What's she have to say?
Jules? I'm afraid she believes I'm somehow responsible.
Or you know who is.
Yes.
Your assignation last evening was, what shall I say, unhelpful?
Who told you?
Charles, there are moments when you fail to honour your reputation as grey mandarin with wisdom, insight, and twilight understanding. I tried to warn you weeks ago.
You've had her followed?
A precaution. It is custom and practice that when an incident is about, then those connected are best kept in sight.
I see.
Would that you had, dear heart. You may imagine my concern when your name appeared, albeit modestly, in our headlights.
So what happens now? It'll be conveniently forgotten, I suppose.
I'm afraid not, Charles. I'm afraid not.
You mean the newspapers, all those made-up articles, speculation, hounding poor bastards who are quite innocent. The Hollis hunting season begins on Sunday.
Yes. It would be better if you gave the matter considerable thought.
Well, that's nothing to do with me. I'm seeing the PM in an hour.
Ah. Possibly, my dear, your fascination, your own Fata Morgana, has dropped lace before your eyes. I'm afraid you must think more deeply on your political heritage and survival.
Go on.
Oh, so distasteful, Charles. My people are of the opinion that you may have warned Cameron of his fate.
My godfather, James, that's absolute nonsense. I've told you. We did nothing more than talk about old times.
It is precisely those old times, as you call them, that fascinate my friends. You forget, Charles, you were one of his undergraduates at the time he was recruiting so successfully. And, of course, you have been to see him as his crisis hovered.
Hang it all, old man, I'm your brother-in-law. You know me better than that. You're not actually trying to tell me that I'm under suspicion.
I am, dear heart, in the most delicate way, trying to tell you just that.
I'm truly sorry, Mary. As Home Secretary, I cannot get involved.
But it's nonsense. Are you sure?
The DG came to see me this evening.
Oh?
He tells me MI5 has absolutely no proof that Charles has been anything but a casual friend of Cameron.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
Not exactly. There is another matter, according to the DG, that is. A personal involvement.
What does that mean?
I'm sorry, my dear, I can't discuss it.
Does Charles know about this?
I'm not sure, but he will.
Hello, Wust. Go on, get down then.
Ah, Charles, there you are. There you are.
Yes, I suppose I am. Hello, darling.
Hello. Can I get you a drink?
No. No, thanks. Well, I suppose Dougal's told you.
It's ridiculous.
Not everything, Charles.
I see.
You've seen the Prime Minister?
Surely he backed you up.
I've just come from Downing Street. I think I will have that drink after all.
You sit still. I'll get it. Dougal?
Not for me. It's going to be a long evening.
Here we are. Cheers.
Hardly. Well, I may as well tell you, Dougal. You're here in Cabinet tomorrow anyway.
You do realise that as much as I'd like to, Charles, as a friend, of course, I couldn't possibly
please,
support...
Dougal. Go on, darling.
I'm sorry. I was only making my position clear.
It won't be necessary. I've told the PM that considering the suspicions will involve me publicly...
It's most damaging to the party.
Dougal, please, shut up.
Well, very simply, I've said that I can't continue as Chief Whip, and as much as I'd like to, this is not the moment to take over as party chairman.
You mean you've resigned?
I mean I shall in the morning.
Oh, Charles. This is all so silly.
What did he say?
We understand.
Supercilious shit.
And the offer of a seat upstairs.
The Lords? A life peerage? Well, Charles, I must say that's very generous considering the circumstance.
I hope you told them what to do with it.
No, I said I would sleep on it.
Of course. Personally, Charles, I think you'd be wise to accept. Presumably you'd be in line as leader of the House. Very prestigious. You could come out of this rather well.
Dougal? We're talking about Charles being accused of something he's not only never done, but that he's quite incapable of doing.
Darling.
And all you can do is tot up brownie points.
Mary, Charles is in a difficult position. At Westminster, the victim is always guilty.
See?
Until proved not quite guilty. Innocence is a prerogative of the anonymous and no one else.
Come off it, Dougal. We're real people. We're not Aunt Sally's in some silly endgame. Whatever happened to democracy in the House?
Democracy has nothing to do with this, darling. Dougal and I are talking about politics.
Oh, it stinks. The whole damn thing. Hello? Who? Sorry, he's not here. Bye.
Who was that?
For you. The Sunday Times. Oh, Charles.
In that episode of The House, you heard Julian Glover as Charles Bannister, Peter Kelly as Dougal Baxter, Isla Blair as Mary Bannister, Christopher Benjamin as Henry Colvil, Sheila Reid as Rose, Siobhan Redmond as Juliet Cameron, and Ruth Gemmell as Polly Bannister. The House was written by Christopher Lee and produced by Neil Cargill.